Hello everybody, and we are on the wrong screen for some reason. One second. There we go. That's the screen we're supposed to be on. How's everybody doing this fine day? Hold on, just gotta get my headset all ready to go. And welcome on in for part 2, and possibly the final part of American Nightmare. We'll see if we can get through the whole thing. It wouldn't surprise me if we did not, just because I tend to take things way too slowly. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead, and I see your comment, DGC. Let me get a current link and throw it up in the for the Discord real quick, and then we will get going. Copy. And drop you there. Boom. We are good to go. Now I gotta move the keyboard because Zoe is trying to wander everywhere again. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get this going. So, where we ended off last time is we finished the entirety of the first loop and did a little bit of the arcade. Enough to go through all the story bits there, and we're ready to start the second trip around the, Yep. My brain went blank there. Let's just get going.
The rush of darkness is unstoppable. Time itself twists and tears, sweeping the champion of light back with its dark currents. Again, he enters the world, but now he sees the trap for what it is. A maze that loops back into itself.
I'm here again. He sent me back.
Alright, let's go ahead and shift these in there so the cat can't step on it. Alrighty, so we have ourselves the first loop of American Nightmare, and we can definitely see how the foundation of a lot of what happened in Alan Wake 2 originates right here with this entire idea. But I don't think the entire loop system here is the same as it is in Alan Wake 2, where you have the second draft, which is kind of like a complete rewrite top to bottom. This one, it feels like the story itself includes it, rather than it being a whole new story with a few edits. Mostly because we have a little bit of deja vu, as we'll see later on, and deja vu will be an occurrence where the characters have an unconscious gut feeling that they've gone through this before, because they have. But anyways, let's go ahead and just get this ball rolling.
In Bright Falls, I was constantly under attack by birds that were more shadow than flesh and feathers. But this is an evolution. Some of the Taken were actually capable of turning into a flock of birds to escape my attacks and turning back into human form to make surprise attacks.
Okay, we're just describing the new enemy type. They decided to make the birds even more annoying. But of course, the rule of 3 does apply, as the FPC would say. I mean, in a certain sense, this story kind of, I don't want to say has to be in this constant looping scenario, because it creates a trap for Mr. Scratch as well. It makes it so he can no longer escape. And it gives Alan as many times as possible to get this everything correct. Okay. And I think we're maxed out on here. There's another manuscript page right over here by the boombox.
No, not birds again. What the hell?
Ah, please don't hug me. I do not consent to your love. Oh, you dildo. Okay, we're good. Let's see that. That took almost all of my ammo just to take that out. Like, literally almost everything. I should have just used the crossbow. Hello, hello, Carol. Welcome on in. And Zoe, thank you for jumping in front of the screen so I can't see anything, but it's okay because I don't need to.
I'm trapped in the darkness. He has started appearing to me. He can travel back into the world effortlessly, and he loves to rub my face in it. At first, he was just an echo in the darkness, a flicker beyond the edge of my vision. Now he started showing himself, getting bolder all the time, telling me what a great time he's having in the world while I'm stuck here, and what he plans to do. Especially to Alice. All the moves I have left are dangerous and desperate. I have no choice. I have to hunt him.
Alright, so for the logistics of this, the fact that Scratch can just jump back and forth between the dark place and reality, I'm curious if it's just because the story says so, or if the Herald, it just innately has that ability. We get another manuscript page about Scratch and his role, or its role, I should say, in this drama, and it kind of implies that it is just one of the, like a lieutenant of a greater power, and it's there to open the door for all the others. Scratch got hacks. I mean, pretty much. Plus, it doesn't hurt that it doesn't help. Whoopsie. That the people are telling stories about seeing him, therefore it kind of makes it more possible for it to happen. Where? There we are. Come on, booty. There we go. Didn't Diver Zane give him a shape that looks like... I mean, you can't really say definitively that Zane, or the diver, gave him that form. The diver simply introduced that form to Alan, or like an introduction saying, hey, there's this random character in the story, here's this person, say hi. That doesn't mean that he created or fabricated him.
I don't make friends easily. I know plenty of people, but I don't let most of them close. I've known Barry Wheeler ever since we were little boys. We had the time of our lives. I'd get us in trouble, and he'd talk us out of it. Things haven't changed that much now that we're grown-ups. He's the most loyal and dependable person I've ever met, and all the things that count anyway. You could call him a weasel, and you wouldn't be entirely wrong. You could call him a clown, and I would reluctantly agree. But he has never let me down.
Oh, 100%, Melissa. Yeah, the idea of Alan being a psycho has been around for a long time. I want to say since like the late 90s. Even when he was a teenager, he was getting arrested for disorderly conduct. Disorderly... God, why is my brain freezing? Conduct and assault and things like that. Yeah, Jinx, my impression of Scratch, and at least its role in this story, is very much like Nyarlathotep. Where it's kind of like that, the herald of other beings. The outer guard that... Yeah, thank you, Marama. So the outer guard that takes human form and meddles with people to incite dark traits. Yeah. 100%. I mean, it's a little bit different in the actions taken, but it takes human form and stirs the pot a little bit.
With all the herbs, crystals, and the rest of her New Age paraphernalia, Emma Sloan had been called a hippie and a freak and worse. It was that small-town mentality. She was a female mechanic, and even in 2011, there were always going to be backward shit-kickers who thought that was a hoot. She didn't mind. She could deal. She could take any engine apart, even the new ones with all the computers in them. Turned out that these boys were awful polite while waiting for her to put them back together.
So the thing that confuses me about this, unless a lot of the timelines are completely wrong here, but it specifies that this is in 2011, but the game was released in 2012, and Remedy games generally occur in the year they're released, so I don't know if they just... This story is intended to take place in 2011, and that general rule of Remedy games is not 100% accurate, it's 99% accurate, or they wrote this manuscript page back when they were writing it in 2011 and didn't update it to 2012. Who knows? Not that it really matters, I'm just being pedantic about the whole thing, but thought I should mention it. And now the cat is knocking things over. But it's such a minor thing, it really doesn't matter, considering the subjectivity of time in this setting. This could very likely take place in 2011. But we do know for sure that this House of Dreams does occur in 2012. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. Oh, give me that ammo. I will take it.
Emma?
What's up, Emma?
You here?
Wow, it is you. I guess all of it really happened.
You remember me?
Kind of. I felt weird all day, like I could almost remember a dream I had, and then Just before sunset, I remembered the page.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go get those things again.
Not all of them. I went out and got them. Well, most of them. I felt stupid at first, but then it was getting dark, and those things started showing up, and one of them made off with the battery. It ran into the railroad tunnel. There was no way I was gonna follow him in there. Sorry.
It's good you didn't. You should be careful. I mean, really careful.
Yeah, I kinda remember something. Something bad happened to me, didn't it?
Forget it. It doesn't have to happen again, okay? Just do what I say.
Yeah, okay. God, this is too weird. Am I going crazy here? Just go get that battery.
So, when I make the comment about deja vu being a thing when you're dealing with narrative loops, this is I would argue, a very different situation. Because I think there's a manuscript in Alan Wake 2 that we find in the final draft where Saga mentions that feeling of deja vu, but she does not have conscious memory of the entire story playing out before. Just that gut feeling. All the characters in this game, or at least the three leading ladies, directly, like, not at first, but each time around, they get more and more conscious of it, as if they're like, okay, yeah, no, I fully know what happened last time. That's why it seems less that this is a new draft of the story, but more the story itself intends the characters to develop to retain memories or recover memories as time goes on. So it's a little bit of a different thing. It's more of an intentional deja vu versus an unintentional deja vu. But the point is, if we ever see characters mention this in the future, that should set off a red alert saying, hey, maybe this has happened before. Legitimately speaking. Speaking of sudden stop, how could Alan Wake stuff be in Quantum Break without Microsoft taking ownership? Well, at the time when Quantum Break was released, Microsoft did own Alan Wake. It was later, I think during the process of Control, that they finally purchased it back from Microsoft. Because they wanted to include Alan Wake 2 teaser stuff in the AWB DLC. Okay.
Try to stay calm. You're perfectly sane. We're caught in a time loop. That's why this is happening again.
I believe you. God, I feel like I might just lose it any second now. How come you're not freaking out over this?
Because on my personal weird shit-o-meter, this just doesn't rate.
Look, I know something happened to me before...
You're gonna be okay. If you just keep cool, okay?
I can't even imagine, because I think she doesn't know the specifics of what happened to her last time around, but she has that nagging feeling, and you know how weird that would be to just have a subtle memory of your own death and then boom, you're back? Like, honestly, it kind of reminds me of, spoilers if anyone hasn't read the book, one of the ending scenes in Carrie, Stephen King's Carrie, because essentially the character, other than the telekinesis ability, also can project emotions like a reverse empath, where it forces other people to feel her emotions. And while she was dying, one of the other lead characters was in her vicinity and literally experienced what it was to die by feeling Carrie's emotions. And then she had to go on and live her life knowing exactly what it's like from start to finish. It's kind of reminds me of what's going on, specifically with Emma, because she's the one that comments on this more than anyone. I guess because she's the one that actually, quote-unquote, dies in the story.
Thanks for getting this stuff for me. It's a big help.
I hope so. Are you gonna make everything blow up at the oil field again?
I have to.
Well, whatever the hell else you might be, at least you're not boring.
Cool. Later. Let's go check out Eddie Rodman's radio
Just
broadcast.
the battery. That'll save time.
Yeah, and like, it'd be the equivalent of if we had Final Draft happen and Saga all of a sudden knew everything that was going on and was able to make different decisions. But even she is bound by the events of the story. Like, I know they try to make the claim, oh, Saga's immune to the story, she's not bound by it, she has conscious awareness. But when Final Draft happens and the entire loop resets, she has no memory of it being reset. So those rules are very specific. And they're not all-encompassing, I should say. Whereas these characters' awarenesses are far more lucid. It's like that X-Files episode where the bank keeps blowing up over and over, only one character remember. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, people, it's Eddie Rodman here with a few hours to kill, and there's nobody I'd rather spend them with. Nobody else in the whole world. Oh boy, that'll land me in hot water when I get back home, won't it? Well, just in case my wife is listening, and you always are, aren't you, baby? Let me tell you, you are the exception, honey, and the prettiest lady I ever saw to boot. But I'd really like to spend some quality time with you listeners, because, you know, tonight's one of those nights. You're sitting in the studio and you kind of forget how long it's been or what day it is. You just sit here and go through the motions. You might as well have been here forever. You keep talking, but you don't even know what you're saying. It's like you're on automatic. You can't stop the ride and get off. It's times like these that I really wish that somebody had just called in and relieved my boredom. How about it? Anybody? Come on now, help a fella out. Our lines are open.
Honestly, guys, other than the Next Generation episode, I think the funniest one was the one in Stargate. The time loop episode in Stargate was freaking hysterical. They're sitting there playing golf and knocking golf balls through it into different universes or different galaxies. Fun shit. So, in light of what we came across in the last of the Alan Wake 1 DLCs, this dialogue here sounds very similar to what was on the giant typewriter we found hidden away behind the airplane, where it's just like words going, but nothing's really being said, and it just needs to fill in the space. And it's very much to the point where Eddie Rodman has been manifested for the sole purpose of being the radio host, and sometimes you don't have something for him to say. Just is what it is. Anyways, let's get running. Like, you know you're on the spot to say things, but the script was never written for you to mimic anything.
Night Springs doesn't exist. It's a fictional town from the TV show I used to work on. It was Any Place USA, a place we used as a backdrop for whatever strange story we had that week. One of the stories I wrote for the show involved a man, the champion of light, fighting his evil double, the Herald of Darkness. It was something I'd written back in the real world, something I had a link to, a framework I could build on. I had adapted it into a new story. This story.
Alright, so my presumption here is that the inspiration Alan came across when he was writing this Night Springs episode was this event that he's experiencing right now. Because remember, his Alex Casey books are solely because he had dreams as a child of the real-life FBI agent Casey, and basically translated them into his own piece of fiction that is like the telephone game. You're getting parts of it right, parts of it wrong. It's like you try to remember a dream you had after a few days and you sit down and write it down. It's not going to be exact because there's no way for you to remember anything. And I would say I'm very confident that Alan witnessed this event of American Nightmare and then kind of wrote a story about it that became a Night Springs episode. And then we adapted it. It's a giant closed loop. But anyways. You gotta write it down when you wake up. Dude, I've written down my dreams when I wake up, and I know I'm still missing things or mistranslating things. Alright. So, I want you guys to really pay attention to this one in the background, because the lady who is in this TV scene with Scratch is watching an episode of Night Springs. And that episode is not any that we've ever seen before. It's really difficult to hear what's going on, because things are happening in the hotel room, or the motel room as it stands, but this is a brand new episode of Night Springs that's only ever seen here. And it's very, very interesting, considering explaining away what we were talking about when we got to the drive-in theater, that the entities that call this dimension their home can't abuse the creative power, the chaos energy of the dark place, and why they can't use it. Because they'd essentially be gods if they could, but they can't. And here's why.
Okay, so this chick just came up to me and said she's my biggest fan.
I know. They all say that, right? And she's giving me the eye. So I make a couple of moves, we have a couple of drinks, and then things start happening. But I say I have to go to the bathroom first. Uh-oh, right? She's got no idea. Watch this. This is gonna be priceless.
That's nice.
I thought you'd like that. Are you tense? You feel a little tense.
Maybe a little. I had a crappy day.
Yeah?
Don't worry, it's improving real fast.
Yeah.
Hey, don't stop. It's just getting good.
Watch this. Yeah! Did you see that? Oh man, did you see her? Boom!
More than anything else, that's the part of animals. It's in our nature to imagine, to turn fantasies into legends, to be storytellers. But on a rare occasion, the line between fact and fiction, imagination and reality becomes hopelessly blurred, and nowhere admittedly as in Night Springs.
Alright, so I was able to transcribe that entire section. There's no captions, unfortunately, but I captioned it myself. Now, that murder very likely actually took place in reality. Remember back in the last episode, they do mention that TV and radio signals can breach the barrier between the dark place and reality, and Scratch can as well, so very likely this is a real murder we just watched. Anyways, so the narrator for that episode says this: "It's imagination more than anything else that sets us apart from animals. It's in our nature to imagine, to turn fantasies into legends, to be storytellers. But on a rare occasion, the line between fact and fiction, imagination and reality becomes hopelessly blurred, and nowhere as vividly as Night Springs." And that right there perfectly explains why the entities from the Dark Place cannot use its power. They have zero imagination. They cannot imagine, they cannot fantasize, none of that stuff exists. They are pure instinct. They are animals in that, using that context. And we get a little bit of that as well. Let me see if I can find it. Drive-in theater, The Grenadier. Listen to this one again.
The Taken were always single-minded. They had a certain animal cunning, but they weren't very intelligent. That's one reason why they prefer melee weapons.
So that's one aspect there. And then in addition, we have... Where's the splitter? The splitter one as well.
Some of the Taken aren't protected by the darkness like their comrades. Instead, their aversion to light is so extreme that they literally split into two when they encounter strong light. It leaves the two halves weaker, but of course, there's strength in numbers. It's a disturbing development. The dark presence I faced 2 years ago was powerful, but it didn't have much in the way of imagination.
Mm-hmm. And right there, they just mentioned the same thing again. And we see a little bit of that in the first game, where the survival guide mentions the dark presence was overlooking Alan's shoulder throughout the entirety of him writing Departure, but couldn't see that he was setting up a loophole within the plot to elude it. Because again, no imagination. It just sees what it is for what it is.
Now Night Springs is in Arizona, although not for long. It's in Arizona because whatever the town that has become Night Springs is really called is located near one of the thin, worn places in the world where dreams and reality flow together and life is always a little strange. Perfect analogy for Night Springs. I can't return to the real world. I've tried, but I'm operating on dream logic, forcing the door open a crack so I can slip through. I can enter the strange little town of Night Springs. All I did was put it in Arizona for one night.
Mm-hmm. And again, this is one of the best pieces of information that this technically is taking place, at least within an overlap of reality, at the bare minimum. Possibly in a real town itself, because they claim, hey, this is a real town that has become Night Springs. So what was the town before, and what does the place look like after this AWE event concludes? Let's see, and it's located near the oil derricks, which is a hole to the dark place, just like Cauldron Lake, blah, 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 blah. Like, that's the biggest deal, is I really want to see what happens after a Night Springs AWE event, if the town still has lingering effects there. And quite frankly, with what we see in this House of Dreams blog, we get that answer. So let's put a pin in that for now. Oh, so talking about Lovecraftian stuff, I'm reading through a lot of the collection works right now. And I just got through the first one, Dagon, and did a lot of research on that entity. And the historical aspect of it, where the mistranslation, they kind of look at it as a fish god, when originally it was more like a grain and harvest god. But there was a mistranslation with the first syllable, and we just made the presumption that it was about fish. And even Lovecraft made that mistake. Alrighty, so this cave-in right here, the train is supposed to go through this place, transporting the oil and other things, but there was a cave-in. We don't know what caused it, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and grab that battery. Apparently the spiders decided to steal it.
Now I just need her to charge this up.
Please let me alone. Go away. Stop it. Lovecraft also had a phobia of things that come from the ocean. Oh, did not know that. That would make sense. But yeah, the origin... I saw a comment that even the word Dagon is used referring to grain in Syrian, if I remember correctly from the comment I saw. So even to this day, you see that in modern language. Because I think where the mistake was is when some of the biblical scholars, because they use that entity in the Book of Samuel, when they saw DAG as the first letters in it, they perceived it through their own Hebrew alphabet, and Daleth, I forgot what the second syllable was, means fish. So dog means fish. So they're like, oh, well, Dagon must be a fish god then. And they just collectively patted themselves in the back, even though they were 100% incorrect. No, Jesus! No, I do not lay an alien in my stomach. I do not like face huggers. Oh yeah, translation errors are as old as language. Yes. And that's why I very much try to avoid applying meaning to the etymology of words unless there is other pieces of evidence that go along with it. Like the whole thing with Emil being having the Latin root of emelos, which means imitation. That makes sense because he is the imitation of art. Heartman, Artman, the imitation of art. It makes perfect sense because it goes with this character. But then I've seen someone make the comment that, well, Emily Pope, it has the same root. Her name has the root emelos as well, meaning imitation, so they presume that Emily is a villain in the story simply because of that. So now you're injecting information where there's nothing else to suggest it. So you need multiple points of data before you can really use an etymological base.
Found the battery.
Okay, I'll charge it. Here, try not to get killed.
Okay, I'm gonna take care of this. Try to stay calm.
Look, what if you stay here with me, please?
I'm sorry, but if I don't deal with this, no one else will.
Yeah, I guess. It's just that this is getting really creepy. I believe this is real, but I don't understand any of it. I'm getting scared. I can't believe you're so calm.
I get scared, but I've had a lot of time to get used to it. That helps.
I mean, I forgot, I don't think it was... I forgot who the author was that made this comment, but it comes to mind when we're talking about using etymology to predict things in storytelling, is the quote was, everything is true in some sense, false in some sense, meaningful in some sense, and meaningless in some sense. And the real trick is figuring out which is which. The last part is just me paraphrasing, but the first part's all that author. And yeah, you can't just take every little piece of data points and say, this means something, like the dude with the mashed potatoes.
The guy who looks like me is the reason this is happening. I caught up with him, but he swept me back here.
Back in time.
Yeah, it's a trap. We'll be doing this forever unless I can break out of it.
How are you gonna do that?
I'm working on it. I came prepared, but things got kind of scrambled when I arrived. I'm tracking down the things I need.
Yeah, well, feel free to climb back into your DeLorean or whatever it is you do.
I seriously wish we had a Christine boss fight, because that would just make this perfect. Anyways. Did you good kitty? Did you good kitty? Alright, let's head back up. I mean, if we really wanted to play that game, the word "the" in English is literally the root for theos, meaning God. So when you say "the God," you're saying God, God. And of course, that's not what you're saying, but if you were to go purely off of etymology, that's what you would be saying. Okay, let's see. I don't think we have any more of that ammunition, but anyways. We need to get some more crossbow ammo. You think that quote you mentioned is the Principia Discordia? I'd have to check, because it's a quote my dad says all the time when we get into these kind of philosophical conversations, so he would know immediately. Stop it, stop it. Shit. No! I was trying to go for something else, but I'll take it. Dick, you come back here right now, young man.
Here we go again. Better get ready to run.
Oh yeah, absolutely character Yahweh or Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh is a four-letter Hebrew name of God, the tetragrammaton meaning he caused to be or was, is, will be. Yeah. There's also the variation Yod-Heh-Shin-Vav-Heh, but that's a whole other story. Let's go ahead and do this and knock a satellite out of the air again. And I'm working on I think it's called like the Testimony of Randolph Carter or something like that is the next book for Lovecraft I'm working on. Oh, Eminland, American, it's on Steam. You can get it on Steam. You can get it on Epic Games as well. And I got to run. I did play Elder Scrolls 4 and stopped playing because it red ringed my Xbox 360, and I never got back to it. Stop it. Stay away, young man. But yeah, I think those kind of like massive RPGs are just too much for me. Especially now when I really don't have the free time to play things just for the fun of it. It's the reason I kind of just replay these same games over and over again.
Emma! Coming! This is not the bad thing! Nothing!
Okay. And boot. Whoa, shit, that was a complete miss. One hit KO. God, I love this freaking crossbow.
Just keep your head down!
If I can at least get him, then we're good. Yep, okay. I am out of ammo. Missed! Leave me alone, you damn splitters. That guy just took an arrow to the knee, though. Okay, we're good. Thank you, something of all. That's okay. Robert Anton Wilson. Yes. Thank you, thank you. Because I didn't want to say, because my father's two favorite authors are Robert Anton Wilson and Robert Heinlein. So I knew it was one of the two, but I couldn't remember which.
I got a really bad feeling about all of this.
I'm gonna need those keys to the diner now. There's a motel key there that I have to get.
Oh, hey, you don't have to do that. I have the motel master key. I work for the same company, you know. What's at the motel?
Well, there's a dead guy. He's got something I need to get into the Mount Redtooth Observatory.
God, that's awful. Hey, you wanted to know about the guy who looked like you, didn't you?
The last time you said he had a party, but you didn't go.
No, that's not true. I did go. It was really great at first, and then I didn't see it myself, but I hear he turned nasty. He hurt a bunch of guys pretty bad, and there was this girl, she died. But I didn't hear about that until afterwards. I thought that he was so charming.
And then he went to the diner.
That's right. I wasn't involved. I wasn't involved with that at all. I don't know what happened.
Fine. I need to check out these motel rooms. In the meantime, you stay here, okay? I'm serious. Keep the lights on and stay here.
Yeah, okay. You got it. I sure hope you're right about this.
You're gonna stay here this time, right?
Because the last time I didn't, and that thing, whatever it is, happened to me.
Yeah. I don't want you to get hurt again.
Don't worry, I'm gonna stay put. I don't remember what happened exactly, but I learned my lesson.
Good. It doesn't have to happen exactly the same way this time around. You proved that much when you went out and got those things for me. I think you're gonna be okay.
Let's hope you're right.
Okay. So we got Ag.
No! This wasn't supposed to happen again! No!
Well, do 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 do. Let's keep on moving, I guess. We'll save her next time, guys. It's fine.
Alice and Barry, my wife and my best friend, are easily the two most important people in my life. And they've never really gotten along with each other. I suppose both of them resent the other's intrusions into what they considered their domain. After I was gone, they maintained an uneasy truce. My book stayed in print, still selling, the licensing machine churned away. She was my wife and controlled the intellectual property. He was my agent and took care of the business. I wish they found more common ground than that.
Oh, and we see some more about how their relationship developed in the Alan Wake 2. He definitely did what he needed to do to check in on her when she was going through her rough patch. They're still on speaking terms, yep. And she even acknowledges that he was a much better friend than she gave him credit for. Alright, Mr. Farabee, thank you for the keys.
It's said that nobody knows what the future might bring, but for this man, it's no longer entirely true. A weaker man might simply give up, but the champion of light is an expert on destiny. Sometimes the puppet and puppeteer can be one and the same. Mount Redtooth, its top littered with man-made eyes that stare into the endless depths of space. Tonight, the champion of light will depend on them to pick out a message from the ether.
Hi there, Zoe. Welcome back to the game. Okay.
As history repeats itself, the man remembers the patterns. He knows that he needs the missing part for the telescope.
Zoe, I can't see anything. There we go. Now they start to spawn. Okay, I literally cannot see half of what's going on here. Okay, I'm sorry, Zoe. I literally cannot see. Oh my god, there's someone standing right next to me. I didn't even notice that there was a guy about to smack me in the face. Like, legitimately, I had no clue. Thank you. Ow, 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 cat, please stop stabbing me in the leg. Okay, we're safe. I do not know what just killed that guy, but I will not argue. I swear, you seriously want the Taken to beat me? And, okay, yeah, you can lay in front of the monitor, that's fine. Come on, grab the next one, grab the one above. There we go.
Oh, praise be. You guys are coming through for me. A pretty little light just started blinking on my board here, and that means there's a caller out there. You know, when the hours stretch into eternity like this, when it feels like I'm stuck in a rut and just reliving the same endless night over and over again, I feel genuinely touched by someone actually reaching out to me, breaking the monotony. I just want you to know that it really matters to me. Caller, you're on the air.
You suck, Eddie!
Did you know that this is my dream job? True fact.
You suck, bro! Yeah, whoever's writing this radio broadcast, and someone is just ringing my doorbell. It's probably just a package dropping off. 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. Amazon decided to stop by. Alright, let's get things going. But yeah, he needed a generic troll caller because he literally... Alan couldn't figure out what to write here, so he just said, you know what? Someone called in and talked shit. The end. I think he's running out of material to work with.
When Dr. Rachel Meadows got the call from Michael, telling her to hurry to the observatory, she didn't waste any time. It had been a nice party. She'd had a good time, but her social life would always play second fiddle to the mysteries of space. Michael never showed up, of course. He pulled over at the wrong rest stop. She never even thought about him at the time. The phenomenon in the sky above her was too fascinating.
So, tunnel vision and... Yep, I get that. Remain Max, the thumbnail is from a... We looked at it at the very beginning of the previous stream, but it is kind of like a review of Scratch reading reviews of the game in character. And if you want to go back to the first stream and right at the beginning, we watch it in full. Come on. Stop it. You're not allowed to get that close. Ah, you dick. There we go. Alright, he's back to the livery dock. Now here is one of the really cool manuscript pages that gets more into the rules of the universe.
There are places where our world is worn thin, and another reality brushes against ours. One such site is Cauldron Lake near Bright Falls, Washington. But there are others. That other reality is dark, vast, and malleable, always in flux. In its depths dwell vast forces and alien energies. They're dangerous. But in one of these places, if you know how, you can channel the power of that place and use it to shape reality.
Now, we don't know just how many weak spots to the dark place there are in the world. We know of 2. Only 2. I mean, you could make the argument that technically the ocean view has a door that leads into the dark place as well, but that's more of a subjective space, and we don't know if there is an actual physical location on Earth that motel exists at. I think it's implied it does, that there's like a real place where the ocean view is, very much like a Lost Room where there's a real place where that motel is, but we don't know. Okay, and I mentioned we wanted to pay attention to this last time. So on the Eastern Observatory, which is right up here, that's where Dr. Meadows parked the first time around in that loop. And for some reason, she decided to park here instead, down at the delivery dock. Now, no clue why she decided to make that change. No, because Night Springs doesn't really exist either, to be 100% honest. And the implication we get from one of the episodes is that there is an entity known as Night Springs that legitimately just shows up, writes its name on the town, and then boom, that town becomes Night Springs. So you could argue that this town in the Arizona desert, the entity, Night Springs itself, showed up, carved its names onto a wall, and then boom, the episode began here. The shift between reality and the Night Springs town occurred right then and there.
The darkness rose from the depths of Cauldron Lake and took Alice. It needed words. It needed me to write its way into our world. She was leverage, a hostage. I complied, but with a twist. I put in a loophole that gave me a chance to fight back. I was hunted by shadowy enemies, but I faced the darkness. I fought it with light. I drove it back. I saved Alice, but it came with a cost. I was trapped in the dark place below Cauldron Lake.
And this is just a recap of the previous game. So really not much to say there. Alright, let's head on up and see Dr. Meadows. And we got one of these bad boys. Or two of these bad boys, I should say. Just gotta take a while. Come on, land again. That was a miss entirely. The only downside about using the crossbow is you literally have to wait for it to drop back down before you get another opportunity because of how long the reload is. Oh. Oop, nope, neck is not going to pop, unfortunately. Do 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 do. Alright, oh, we got more of them. Let's use some of our SMG ammo. That should be enough to knock out one. Almost. Damn it. Okay. Sometimes they make deer-like noises, these specters, aka birdmen. Never heard it, but... Oh, you talking about the little snort they do right there? There we go. Hold on.
Stories come naturally to us. We can't help it. There are many different worlds, many competing realities within our heads, fueled by books, television, even barely remembered childhood tales. There's an endless supply of fictional concepts more familiar to us than anything or anyone real. We have a far greater connection to the fictional characters we know and love than the random people we pass on the street. Our destinies and inspirations are shaped by lies, myths, and fables.
Truer words have never been spoken. Because, yeah, I can speak from experience. I probably have at least 3 or 4 universes in my head that I'm trying to write and failing at every single time. And I'm sure everyone here knows the feeling.
It's you! How dare you! No, wait. It isn't you, is it? I suppose you'd better come in. I'll unlock the door.
Thanks.
Okay, yep, her memory kind of implies like, oh, I know what's going on. Okay, we're good. At this point, I feel like the memory issue with them is very much a step further than deja vu, which is more of a gut feeling. This is more of a conscious awareness.
I know what you're thinking. Evil twin, supernatural powers. But most of the time, I just like to keep things basic. I want you to understand that. Like this. Need to get your hands dirty? No batteries, no moving parts, just physics. That's technology you can depend on. It's a classic.
And it's recyclable.
Speaking of classics, you need to be careful with this one, though. If the victim suddenly twists, you might end up cutting yourself. It's not really a workhorse, but I'm a sucker for this style. Now this is more like it. You've got slip-resistant grip. Believe me, you really want that traction once you're wrist deep in somebody. The blade's stiff enough so it won't open by accident in your pocket, but it's still really easy to open with just one hand. Now that's a big thing for me. I know what you're thinking. It's too big.
too heavy. But sometimes you just need the extra oomph. If you're talking intimidation, this is gonna do the job. Also great for dismemberings and whatnot. You know, the messy jobs.
Good to know.
I can't tell you how many things I've MacGyvered with this stuff. Okay, now, guns. Not a big fan. I mean, how are you supposed to really connect with somebody with a bullet? I want you to understand that. I take pride in what I do. We can't both be worthless hacks, can we?
I agree with all of you guys. We totally need a YouTube channel that just solely is Mr. Scratch doing murder weapon reviews or literally scoring serial killers by like 1 to 5 skulls on their effectiveness and their style. Dude, he would go frickin' gold so quickly. And yes, Alan Wake 2, they do have that scene with the bad boy kind of echoing what was going on here, where he's talking about how to ruin Alan's day. Or the writer's day, I should say.
You'll have to forgive me, but this feels very strange. It seems like this has all happened before.
I have the replacement part for your telescope, Doctor.
All right. Let's get it installed.
Yeah, ranking horror movie antagonists. He's like, yeah, this killer over here, he's a total freaking... like, he's a bitch, he has no flair. If I was in that situation, I would have done it so much better than him. He'd be, like, morally offended by certain horror movie antagonists. What happened to your...
I think we can give this a go, although I have this strange feeling that something will go
Don't start
wrong.
it up yet. There's a problem with the coolant system.
Yes, that's right. I remember. All right, let me think. If they're sabotaging it, they'll be at the primary coolant pipe outside. If you can secure it, we should be ready to pick up the signal. That is why you're here, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'll take care of it.
Before you go, if you have the time, I'd appreciate if you came up here and explained a few things. All of this is very strange to me.
Alan's gonna get sick if I keep doing that. Yes, call the channel The Murder Critic. I agree. And now for some fun conversations.
Hello.
I don't quite know what's going on, but I seem to remember having had this encounter before.
It's not deja vu, Doctor. This has happened before. We're caught in a time loop.
That's utterly insane. How could that be?
I can't really explain it. I suppose I could call it magic.
I don't believe in magic.
Neither do I. But I can't argue with what I've experienced. Listen, what matters now is the signal. The last time we only caught a part of it. I need the rest of it. Whether you believe me or not, you want to look into this as much as I do, right?
Yes. All right.
I realize that you have trouble believing this.
That's an understatement. I can't deny that what you say resonates with me on some level I don't pretend to understand. But for all I know, I'm simply delusional.
But it's not just you. I've experienced the same thing as you. Doesn't that prove something, at least?
Maybe. On the other hand, given your appearance, and the fact that you're trying to convince me that I'm not insane, perhaps you're merely a hallucination that accompanies my delusions.
You're not having a psychotic episode, Doctor. For what it's worth, I'm a skeptic by nature. I completely understand your reluctance to believe me.
There are people caught so deep in their psychosis that they retroactively manufacture memories and beliefs that conform to the situation at hand.
Sure, but you have to stop second-guessing yourself at some point, if you want to get something done.
And that's the quote at the very beginning of Bioshock Infinite, where the mind of the subject will fabricate and invent memories where none exist. And I can guarantee you that's exactly what all 3 of these characters are doing throughout this game. where they recognize something's weird and they just try to rationalize it and lie to themselves in the process. Yeah, we're already maxed out. Okay. Alrighties, let's go secure the primary pumps, and then we are pretty much wrapped up for this section. Like I said, it's pretty quick. Is it over here? No, it's actually on the other side. Because I know there's 2 more manuscript pages in this area. There we go. And we can't get the combat shotgun yet. Which I don't really want to use, because I like the crossbow.
The Taken may well be the tool the darkness favors over any other. At some point, they used to be human, but whatever humanity they once had is long gone. Now they're just shells covered and filled by darkness. The Taken Mr. throws at me are more grotesque and varied than the ones I first encountered in Bright Falls. But I know how to deal with them. I'd be lying if I said they don't frighten me. But I've survived worse. I can't let them stop me.
Now, we mentioned earlier that Scratch does have more imagination than other things, and there's a couple things that could stem from either A, because he's taken an aspect of Alan himself, a lot of that kind of just transferred over, or B, he plagiarized stuff coming from Alan's head as his own work. The latter, you think? Well, there is a lot of evidence about a plagiarist all throughout Alan Wake 2. Almost as like a subplot that a lot of people completely missed.
After my disappearance, they thought I was dead. I might as well have been. I know it's been 2 years. I know Alice has moved on. I've tried to find a way back to her, back to my life, but escaping the dark place is almost impossible. Time does strange things here, but dreams and radio signals can pierce the veil between the worlds.
Right there.
I catch glimpses and echoes of the world. Sometimes I send messages out. I can only pray that they hear them.
Okay, there we go, there we go. Yes, Marama, when you lack creativity, you steal from those who have it, 100%. And you pass it off as if it was yours in the first place. Plagiarism. The unfortunate thing is, in this kind of setting, a plagiarist can cause a lot of damage. Let's get our arrows back and then head on down. Any chance it's intentional, the wrong year, I mean, depicts distortion of reality? I have no idea, Jinx. Like, if I can imagine 3 or 4 different scenarios of why the dates are different, I'm not going to presume one over the other without further information. It's like Schrodinger's cat. I'm not going to presume the cat's alive or dead without more info.
right, am I
Doctor,
correct?
can you hear me?
You
I
should
think
be
we're
able
good
to
to
turn
go.
on the lights and secure the area that way. All right, I'll start looking for the signal. Please, head back.
Ruh-roh! Stanley's home improvement vehicle, and now we get the vehicle flying at us. So there was a manuscript page in the previous drive-in theater section that mentions this car flying at us.
I guess they didn't like that.
It just seems like a random waste of a manuscript page just to describe that. But that's just me.
Old damn mountain's trying to kill me.
Please stop falling on me. Okay. Oh no, we got some poltergeists. Hello there. Jesus. Okay, let's just hang out back here. There's another one. Wait, when did you get here? I did not see you show up. Shit. Please don't. Please, no, please don't. Okay. And that one just stuck up there. That's fine. I'm not gonna argue. Apparently they don't know how balanced physics works. Alright, let's get back up. Why would you break my safe haven? Oh, Jesus! Where did you come from? Okay, I think we're gonna have a big battle up here, so let's swap on over. I might need to use one of my flare guns, but I'm trying to save that for when we get to the drive-in. We need at least 3 by the time we get to the end. Missed. Okay, at least the sniper, or at least one of the snipers, is gone. Okay, 3 snipers down. Stay away. Please let me in. Alright, we're good.
It's working. Please, come up here.
Will do as soon as I get more ammo. We're on loop 2, ZOZ. And now we get another fun conversation. This one, I think, is the most interesting one, if I remember correctly.
Find the signal?
Yes, I don't think it's quite the same thing we had the last time. Still, we're definitely picking it up.
Are we getting the complete signal now?
I'm afraid not. Take a look at it yourself. I'm printing out a hard copy now. I'd like to ask you a question or two before that, though, if you don't mind.
Because I think this one gets into like the morality of everything, as well as some other philosophical things dealing with the series as a whole.
What's on your mind, Doctor?
Most people would find these events extremely disturbing, provided that they survive these creatures, that is. You seem to be quite adept at dealing with the situation. Why is that?
Yes, I was involved in It's a complex story. I was in this small town, and a horrible thing from another dimension kidnapped my wife and manipulated me into writing this horror story that came true. I learned to fight it with light, and I managed to contain it and free my wife. But I was trapped in its world.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. So, I'm used to reality working in strange or even impossible ways. And I fought these things, not exactly like this, but close enough for a good while now. Of course, I have certain advantages. Was there anything else?
What did you mean when you said you have advantages?
At the risk of sounding like a lunatic, reality is much more fluid than people think. It can be influenced.
I didn't take you for a mystic.
I'm not. I'm a writer. And under certain conditions, I can, for lack of a better word, rewrite reality. Change things.
That's absurd.
But it works.
Assuming I believe this, why don't you simply, I don't know, write yourself some superpowers?
It's not quite that simple. You need to follow certain laws of drama, I suppose. You need to think about consistency and symbolism. Often what you write isn't anywhere near as important as what you imply. There are things out there that will take advantage of your mistakes.
You really believe in this?
I mean, how do you think the story would go if he just wrote himself as a Mary Sue? Let's be real. You can't just say, and all of a sudden I had freaking laser beam eyes. That's not how that works.
Don't look at me like that. You've experienced some of this yourself.
I will gladly admit that something exceedingly strange is going on. But this idea that you're somehow altering reality with your writing is ridiculous. You're essentially saying you're controlling my actions. Leaving aside the rational arguments against this, what gives you the right?
Well, it's more like having a destiny. A path you're on. You're not aware of it, but there it is. If somebody changes it, what difference does it make? It's what every writer does. If you write something that affects one of the characters, they don't really know about that.
I'm not a character. Are you saying that it's all right to take advantage of someone if they aren't aware of it?
Look, all I meant was that if you're genuinely making all your own decisions, and those decisions lead to whatever destiny you have, what practical difference does it make?
I suppose that depends on whether our destinies are determined by things like physics and probabilities, or natural reality, which is presumably neutral and impartial, or by some kind of an intelligence. If it's the latter, that intelligence makes choices based on some criteria. If we suffer as a result of those choices, there's a moral and ethical element involved, regardless of whether we're aware of its manipulations. Wouldn't you agree?
You're taking this very well. I thought you'd be hangry.
I suppose I would be if I thought you could actually do this.
I mean, she's not entirely wrong. And it's complicated. Yes, she's a character, quote unquote, but she's also a real person who is forcibly cast into the role of this fictional character. Because again, Alan really can't create things from nothing. He can only take the pieces on the chessboard and make manipulations from there.
Printout. Another signal fragment. The message is still not complete, but it's another piece of the weapon he has built against his adversary. Mere words on a piece of paper, but in the right hands, they will hold back the darkness.
Yeah, this was a fun conversation because it really does get into the moral implications of this whole thing. Granted, we get into... There's a lot more of this in Alan Wake 2, which we'll talk about in a second.
The last time the man came to the drive-in, it did not end well. He hopes to avoid that fate this time. He hopes that what he has brought with him to this place is enough.
Because remember, in Alan Wake 2, at least in the backstory of it, he decided eventually just to stop writing altogether and saying, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm not hurting myself, I'm not hurting others, I'm just gonna surrender to this whole thing. And because of that, other forces took advantage of him and created what was arguably one of the darkest horror stories there is. Just because he chooses not to write doesn't mean that forces here are not going to use him. So if anything, it's less collateral if he does write on his own versus if something else writes through him. If we're talking about pure numbers game. Ugh.
Serena's probably out of her mind again. But I'm gonna need that key so I can get the power back on.
How come I never knew it's so easy to be a bad girl?
To change the world, you must craft a blueprint for the new reality. Any work of art will do, as long as it's a genuine act of creation. That's what the energies of the dark place respond to. The results may be subtle and perplexing, or far-ranging and momentous. My area of expertise, the written word, gives much more precise results than music or interpretive dance would, for instance. But words can be extremely dangerous. What you define may become reality, but so can that which you imply, even if you don't realize you're doing so.
Honestly, if we were going to talk about the closest comparison to Saga's ability to see, probably would be Max Payne, weirdly enough. When he's on Valkyr and when he's in a dream state, he views things in a similar way, where he gets information outside of his conscious awareness. The difference is that he has to be sleeping, and it's because of a drug, versus her who just has it innately. And can do it whenever.
I'm really just here to get the keys so I can get the power back on.
Do you want to hold me down? It's okay. I know you like that.
Yeah, I'll just grab the keys.
I could be like your wife, little wifey, waiting at home for hubby. Or you could be the mailman, or the neighbor.
I'm already married to someone who isn't crazy. Guys. I'm just gonna go and get the power back on.
Aww.
That line's
Look,
hysterical.
I may or may not be back. I have the access code to the booth already, so once the power is on...
You should totally come see me. We could have fun. You know.
We'll see how it goes. You should sit down or something. Try to stay calm.
I don't want to be calm. I want to be nasty. I want to be nasty with you.
Yeah. Okay.
You could do anything you want. You can use my...
Let's not even go there. I was hoping that you'd remember more, but I guess that was too much to ask.
And she was about to go there. Moving on. Let's just go. Let's just go.
I was about to do the weather, but I see we have a caller. Hey, you're on the air with Eddie. What's up?
Hey, Eddie, it's Ricky. You talked about fate before. You think about that a lot?
Not a lot, to be honest, but I take it you do.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's listen to this conversation with the primer of Dr. Meadows' conversation to Alan just now about the rules that regulate or govern our actions and choices being impartial or from some design. Keep that in mind while we listen to this.
Yeah.
Any conclusions you'd care to share, Ricky?
Well, we've got free will, right? That's in the Bible and everything.
Yeah, right, sure.
So free will, right? Am I right? I mean, if we can do what we want, how can there be fate? I mean, you don't know what's going to happen next, so there's no fate. There's just people doing stuff.
Well, I don't know, Ricky. I don't suppose you have considered the possibility that we're all here in the service of a greater purpose, incomprehensible to us,
and that what we take to be freedom is nothing more than the move of a pawn on some cosmic chessboard, limited in scope, subject to the whims of unseen players,
existing only for their entertainment.
Or perhaps we're just a twisted
reflection
of actual events that can happen
elsewhere.
Could it be that such is life in Night Springs?
Dude, what?
Food for thought, Ricky. Food for thought.
Food for thought. I love that. It's like, dude, what? So there's a couple lines in there that directly relate to Max Payne 2, where he says that, or are they echoes of events of a twisted reflection of, or like a twisted reflection occurring in other places? Max says the exact same thing while he's in the Address Unknown funhouse about how television, when television becomes a twisted reflection of your life, blah, 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 blah. And the unseen players that he's referring to is, in this very moment, me and us. We are those unseen players moving them around. I wonder if this radio is actually happening in the real world and there's a moment where the Night Springs leaked out. It's possible that this is really happening out there, but it's also possible that the name of the radio host isn't Eddie Rodman, it's something else entirely. Because again, the names don't necessarily need to be identical. They just have to be the same type of person. I mean, we have situations where Jack Joyce and Sheriff Tim Breaker, they're the same person, but they're not really the same person. They have different names, right? Okay, it's somewhere around here. There it is. Okay.
I have changed. I know who I am now. I know that I can write my own fate. Bright Falls taught me that. I know that indulging my weaknesses, giving in to fear and complacency will only drag me down. The Dark Place taught me that. I'm no Zen master. I've not attained enlightenment. But I have learned to let go of the things that I don't need. I know that without that balance within, I become my own worst enemy. Now I strive for equilibrium, and with that, I'm strong enough to get where I want.
And then you can slay the demon from there. If the narrator is the same from Alan Wake 1, like, it doesn't sound like the same VA as Pat Main, to be 100% honest. I'm curious if it's the same guy doing the Rod Serling impersonation. And that's his natural voice. Do, and leap! All kinds of stuff happened between here and Alan Wake 2. I would presume that there's a lot of AWEs that occurred that Alan's responsible for that happened between now and then as well. Because remember, there's an FBC document that confirms that the rates of AWE events increased dramatically after 2010. Which, again, would imply that what Alan is writing is causing stuff to happen. Now, whether each and every one of those is a Night Springs type event or just random BS, it makes sense. So IMDb says the VA is Larry Kenny, who doesn't appear in any other Alan Wake games. Okay, fair.
It's obvious that for all his power, Mr. is an agent of another greater being. The dark place he came from is full of terrible alien intelligences, dark presences, and none of them should be let loose in our world. He serves one of them. He'll open the way for them if I don't stop him. But he'll do more. He'll take over my life. He already has my face. He already uses my name. He'll become Alan Wake in every way imaginable and corrupt everything. Unless I can stop him.
And that will only happen if we truly believe that this random demon is Alan. If we allow the story to confuse us. And this right here, like, the implication I get from this page is that Scratch is not the Dark Presence. Even though Alan Wake 2, he mentions, like, oh, when he looks like me, he's Scratch. Maybe in that story, but in this one, I refer to this entity as the Herald, because it makes sense, and the Herald works for a greater being like the Dark Presence. But regardless. Hey there, Zachary. Dude, thanks so much for the donation. You are very kind. Remember when we all thought this was as close as we'd get to an Alan Wake sequel for all intents and purposes? Dude, yes. I mean, I honestly didn't think we would ever legitimately get a sequel. Like, I just couldn't perceive that actually happening. Like, the second we got references to him in Control, I was like, oh my god, yes, 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 yes. And then once AWE came out is when, hell yeah.
I want to talk about Alice. Just look at her. She's really beautiful, isn't she? Your wife. Well, our wife, really. Just my wife soon. Don't worry. I'm not gonna treat her like the others. She's special. If I wanted her dead, she would be. I've been around for a while now. So talented. You haven't seen her new work, of course. Oh, it takes my breath away. Really, she's that good. Did you know that I've got a wedding ring, too? We're that similar. She's seen me a couple times, you know? I've let her catch glimpses. She thinks she's imagining things, of course. She thinks you're dead. It might as well be. I mean, even if you manage to keep surviving, you'll be in my trap forever. So I'll go to her. It'll be an amazing moment. Oh my God, you're alive. I'll be the good, loving husband for as long as I can stand it. She'll love it. And then, one day, somehow, it'll happen. Maybe I'll slip up, she spots something, or maybe she just starts running her mouth. And then, I'll do it. It's gonna be sweet. My darling wife.
And all of that because the people can't stop believing in falsehoods. They'd rather be lied to about all this BS. Like, does anyone else get crazy Persona 4 and Persona 2 situations when it comes to Mr. Scratch's character in this game? Because, let's be real, that's kind of exactly what's going on. Alright, so quick question, though. Scratch here mentions that he's allowed Alice to catch glimpses of him every now and then. That being said, in Alan Wake 2, we are told that the hauntings that she's been experiencing is because the real Alan keeps going through the ocean view, or keeps going to Parliament Tower and is essentially haunting her apartment every time he loops around to see her. The problem with, like, that's confirmed, but are we led to believe that every single time she saw him, that was Alan, or did Scratch let her see him sometimes, and sometimes she was seeing Alan and couldn't really tell the difference after a while? That's what I'm saying. I think both. Come on, I know there's a manuscript page somewhere around here. And our job is really to pick apart which is which. Well, we know, Marama, that Scratch did leave the Dark Place because the page says he left the Dark Place. And the page, you can't really have the manuscript itself lie to us. It is what it is. It's very clear cut. Now, if we witness Scratch in a TV thing saying something, that's another story, but the page itself made the claim, so we have to trust it.
I have created the weapon that can put an end to this. A blueprint to a new reality. All I have to do is survive long enough to use it. My arrival from the Dark Place will be painful and difficult. These pages may be lost. But one way or another, I'll send the parts I really need to myself. If I make it outside, I have a chance. Mr. is more powerful than I am, but he can't change the rules in the middle of the game. He's not a creator. I am.
No, 100% Wolf. Like, this game is very foundational to Alan Wake 2. So many of the ideas that they portrayed in here were taken and expanded upon. Like, I almost like to consider this the first draft of Return that eventually turned into the final draft we got in the game.
The trap Mr. is set for me is as simple as it is impossible. Whenever I reach him, he sends me back to the beginning of the maze. It's a loop in time. I go through it only to end up where I started. There's a brutal genius to it. If I die, it's over for me. If I survive, I end up where I started. Sooner or later, the odds will catch up with me. And in the meantime, he gets to toy with me. But that's why I have a chance. He's caught in this pattern just as much as I am. I know where he'll be, and I'm prepared.
See, I understand the concept of an unreliable narrator, Marama, but what I'm saying is the page, if it's written on the page, the Dark Place is taking that and making it real. Therefore, you can't really have it lie to you. Now, if a character was saying something off script, it can be unreliable. If, again, those TV scenes with Scratch, that can be unreliable. But what's on page is what's on page. Yeah, because, like, it's that previous manuscript very much implies, Wolf, that the reason he is using these manuscript pages is he understands, hey, I'm going to lose my memory at the start of the story because, let's be honest, the protagonist can't know how the story ends or what the author is intending as they're writing the plot. But by sending these there, he can go, okay, reading this, I know my own style, I know how my own thought process works, so I can use this to give myself clues on what to do next and what's going on, and then I can kind of predict my own story in that sense. He's kind of cheating in a certain way. I mean, yes, what he ends up doing in Alan Wake 2 is very different to here, even though it's based upon the same rough concept, I'd say. But that doesn't mean because of the edits made in Alan Wake 2 that they no longer apply to this one. Remember, reality shifts are real before... What happens before the reality shift is reality, and what happens after the reality shift is also reality, even if they contradict each other.
Running for all the good it'll do you.
I mean, with how this setting is, you can have inconsistencies, but not have it contradict each other. Ooh, that was clean right there. I mean, you could literally have a page say the sky is blue, and then you make the edit saying, oh, reality shift, the sky's now red. Now, does that mean the sky's no longer blue, or the sky's no longer red? Well, it depends on what side of the shift you're looking at. Both are true. We have to really start looking at things in non-Aristotelian logic. Which, Aristotelian logic is essentially true is true, false is false. There's a dichotomy, and it is what it is. It's black or white, true, false, real, not real. But in non-Aristotelian, things can be real and not real simultaneously. They can be true and false simultaneously, or both. Or they can be neither true nor false. It's just a completely different way to think of it. Yeah, there's a lot of cognitive dissonance, and both are true, then they do not disprove each other. Well, because in this one, Adakon, they're not really taken. The taken in the first game was basically the shell of a real-life person filled by the dark presence. In this game, they're just the idea of a taken, so they're not the real... There's no lingering person there. There's no remnants of who the person was, because there's no actual person for it to take over. It's more just the idea of it. Okay, where is... There is a manuscript here somewhere. Hold on, I want to grab it before we do anything else. Actually, we can do it later. As long as we don't miss it entirely.
For Serena Valdivia, burning the midnight oil was more of an exception than a rule. A procrastinator and a perfectionist, she often worked when she wouldn't be disturbed. Tonight was especially important. The film festival would open tomorrow, and there was still so much to sort out. It wasn't that the work hadn't been done. She just didn't feel like she had completely mastered everything yet.
Oh, I gotcha, Dakon. Yeah, in Alan Wake 2, all they taken did was repeat lines from the return manuscript itself. In Departure, you just saw like the twitchings of like the nervous system just twitching of the personality that lingered from the individual, and they're all unique, which made it so much more interesting and fun. Ka-ching! Ooh, got it in the first try. Stop it. As much as I'd love to use some ammo on that, I don't think we really need to. Oh, shoot. You thought you could be sneaky. Please don't shock me. Ah, you dildo. Okay, I think we're gonna have a big spam. Anybody spam here? There we go. Okay, let's head right back in so we can bottleneck them. Ooh, wait, hold on. Oh, Jesus, I didn't see you there. One got lucky. That is the alpha spider right there. And now we have 2 alphas. Are we good? We're good, okay. There might be manuscript on this side. That may be what I was thinking. Because I know there's another one in here somewhere. Okay, because my guide says it's behind the structure, which is back here, but I don't see it. Oh god, this is gonna bug me. Because I'm not leaving this area until I find it. And now we can't go back this way. Let me check and see. Maybe I accidentally picked it up in a previous time. Oh, we didn't actually read this, though.
The film noir poster reminded me of Alex Casey, the detective's cool exterior never cracking even with the gun pointed in his face. In the back room, all the lights had been turned off, except for the lone spotlight which illuminated the bright red fire extinguisher on the wall.
Okay, more ingredients. Yeah, survival in the dark place. That's the one I'm looking for right now. crap. Sorry, guys. This is throwing the pace off a little bit, but I need to be able to find it. Does anyone know where this one is? Because I know it's here somewhere. Ow. Dick. I know I have not picked it up yet. I may have to look it up, unfortunately. Oh, there it is. Jesus.
The dark place is utterly hostile to human life. It eats at your mind, wants you to succumb to madness. Your own thoughts can turn against you. Every shadow conceals a threat that attacks at the slightest sign of weakness. You're under endless assault. Every day is a struggle for survival. But I've learned to take care of myself. I focus on Alice, our life together, my need to be with her. That takes me a long way in the dark place, as long as I have my gun and the flashlight.
Having that star definitely helps. Alright, now let's get running. There's only one more stop we need before we can finish up this loop and start number 3.
If you die, you lose. If you quit, you lose. If you make it to the end of the loop, you still lose. Sucker.
Get out of here. You thought you can be freaking intimidating? Oh my god, that just reminds me of that quote from Hellsing Abridged. Yeah, that would be intimidating if you were, well, intimidating. Okay, come on, come on. Alright, let's get this out of here. What if Alice seeing Alan is actually her new ability from being touched like she's through the veil into the dark? Well, we have no confirmation if she was quote-unquote touched by the dark presence the same way Rose was. The only information we're giving is she was stuck in the dark place, but that doesn't mean that she was touched in that same sense, where it influenced her. Granted, we could make the argument that she has much more connection to the bright presence in the sequel, but... honestly, I think I would kind of prefer to have, rather than have an Alan Wake 3 where all the characters are playable, I think it'd be cool to have a Max Payne 4, aka Alex Casey 1, and it's Casey and Saga on that, and then Alan Wake 2 is just Alice and Alan. I think I'd prefer that. Because that at least gives us an opportunity to have a new Remedy Max Payne game. Okay, before we head up there, though, we need to go see Serena and remove the possession. And we could technically skip her and leave her to her own devices, but she has more dialogue. The real Max Payne 3, yes. Like, I know it's low-hanging fruit, and I don't hate Max Payne 3, I just acknowledge that it's not Remedy. The game as a standalone thing is fun, but it's not Remedy.
It's you.
I guess you're back to normal again?
I don't know if I'm ever gonna be normal, but thanks. I know you didn't have to come back for me like this.
I couldn't just leave you like that. I'm sorry about the whole thing.
Not your fault. At least I'm not Little Miss Horse Slut anymore. Ugh, that's just... Hey, thanks for not, you know, taking advantage.
No problem. You don't seem too weirded out even though this is happening again.
Honestly, that pales in comparison with having that thing inside my head. I mean, it's crazy, but...
I understand. That can really mess you up.
This is weird. I think what he did left something. I can feel that things are different. I just know that time's acting wrong. I don't know how to describe it. It's like I can sense it.
I'm not surprised. A close encounter with these forces, it stays with you. Changes the way you see things. Some people can't deal with that. They just lose it.
Well, it's early yet. I'm not ruling anything out.
So here's a fun question. Because these three ladies are directly involved in this, do you think that in the aftermath of this Night Springs event that all three of them back in reality are now minor para-utilitarians? That because they have direct connection to all these forces, they take something with them moving forward? And all in different ways? I mean, Emma said she was a very spiritual person in the first place, that she sees auras. It's possible that, hey, that continues onward. Dr. Meadows, we don't really get much of it. She's more perceptive now, so I think it'd be kind of cool. Not in the sense that we're ever going to revisit these characters, but more in the sense that, hey, there's these plot threads in the background that are happening, even if we never know the story. It just reminds me, if anyone's read Neverending Story, you know the lines, and that is another story that shall be told another day. And the invitation by the author is to have us, as the reader, make up the stories and follow those trails that never get actually explained. So we can write our own fan fiction about these characters down the line.
I'm gonna go make my way into the projector booth.
Okay. Is there anything I can do? About the situation, I mean?
No. It's a trap for me. I'm gonna have to go deal with it.
Uh-huh. And you got a plan, is that it?
I think I have a chance. Yeah.
I mean, when we use the term para-utilitarian, it doesn't mean they necessarily get abilities. I mean, Clay Stewart is considered a para-utilitarian minor one. And his ability to witness things in the dark place was very temporary. And then it stopped entirely. But after the event where he threw his dream journal into the dark place, those dreams stopped, he never got them back, and he just went back to his life as a normal person. The FBC still classifies him as a minor para-utilitarian, but for him it was more of a temporary situation. Even though this is supposed to be like the final boss fight in each spire, or at least in each loop, I am cheating it. And I completely missed. This is why we save all of our flare guns. Done. That actually is an interesting thought, Marama, that Alice's nyctophobia resulted from her being in the dark place in the first place, and it transferred back in time. So the reason she was afraid for it when she was younger is because later in her life she ended up there in timey-wimey nonsense of the dark place. I mean, that's a possibility, for sure.
The Champion of Light knows that the time itself is about to end. At least for him. He can feel the dead end rushing towards him. But there is time to act. Incomplete or not, he has the weapon.
Death Rally.
But maybe it's enough.
Alright. Let's switch everything here. Done. And we gotta flip the poster. An Alex Casey story, A Gift of Thorns. So apparently we have a random Alex Casey film that Alan did not write. But then again, there is the implication that they started making films without his input
You're trying
later
to be
after he
cute, aren't you?
disappeared.
What are you up to? It's a waste of time, buddy. You should just lie down and die. Let me take over. This is the only thing you've got coming to you. From here to eternity. No matter how many times you come back.
We don't have any information bomb about how it was made, or even if it does actually exist.
Time folds back on itself. Again, his senses scream as the very impossibility of what is happening assaults them. But the champion of light endures. Each time he gets a little closer, each time another detail falls into place. Now the trap works against the Herald of Darkness.
I mean, if anything, I think the reason Alan's mind, quote-unquote, works in loops and spirals is solely because it gives him the freedom to make mistakes and it not having permanent ramifications. And it gives him time to think and come up with a permanent solution. Anyways, give me a second, guys. I'm going to BRB for a quick bio break and to refill my water, and then we are going to plug our way through the final loop. Give me a second. Okay, and we are back, and the cat's jumping off my lap. And yeah, I agree. Another way to put it, as Break says, the whole time loop thing, I think thinking of it in terms of time loops isn't the most appropriate way to perceive this stuff. Maybe in this game, solely because it's part of the narrative that you have, that the time loop exists. In return, the whole thing about the loop isn't actually in the story, other than the implication by the end about the whole spiral situation. But it's more, as an artist, as an author, you write the story, and then you look at it and saying, this story sucks, go back to the beginning, let's rewrite it and make it better. You constantly, the author keeps going back and rewriting the story and rewriting the story and rewriting the story until the final product comes out. And when we perceive it that way, it's not really a quote-unquote time loop. They're just different drafts of the same story. But if the character is forced to go through... If the first draft of the story, the character played it from start to completion, the second draft, then the character has to play it from start to completion, the third draft, start to completion, fourth, so on and so forth. If the character was aware, they would perceive it as a time loop when that's not really what's going on.
Holy shit! What are you, the king hillbilly?
Shit! Hold on, I gotta run. Okay, at least I got that out of the way. Ooh. Shit, how did I miss? He is literally half the screen. How do you miss him? His hitbox is the whole game. Oh my lord, how much health do you have? There we go. perfect.
Tor and Odin Anderson, old gods of Asgard. I still don't quite know what to make of them. I know they used to be rock stars who modeled their stage personas after Norse gods. I know they're old. I know that in their day they fought the darkness as I do. I know they're demented and insane, ravaged by age and self-abuse. But there's something in them, something powerful that took hold when they were touched by the powers beyond. A thing that goes far beyond just stage names. Something godlike.
So in regards to the old gods, generally Brake and I were talking last night while he was doing his stream about the old gods, and I swear, I think I'm gonna consolidate my thoughts that their delusions are what gave them power. That literally they told stories about themselves so much to the point that they became real. And then after they entered the dark place, those chaos energy literally made them real. They turned into real gods the second they entered the dark place. And for those who are Fire Force fans, it just reminds me of Arthur Boyles.
Right on cue, bubbling to the surface from untold depths, the horrors come. The emerging monsters do not expect the warm reception that has already been prepared for them.
Okay, so Emma went ahead and set everything up for us. Beautiful. The CD's already here, the thingy's already there, and we can just go ahead and get things rolling. Thank you, Emma. You are a very kind dear. Yep, fake it till you make it. So it's apparent, because this is the third time around the bend, Emma's conscious awareness is so much stronger than it was the previous few times. If anything, she has the greatest degree of conscious awareness, simply because maybe as a self-proclaimed spiritual holy woman. Whoa. She has that naturally. Okay, we're good. Okay, let's get out of here.
Next stop, saving Emma.
I think she kind of saved herself this time around, just saying, wink wink. Actually, she saved us, now it's our turn to return the favor. So Emma's superpowers come from her use of suppositories. Damn it, Marama. No, no. Oh, dear Lord.
The Anderson brothers should probably have been in a facility somewhere, despite their tendency to escape from such places. It could be argued that they had no business being on tour, considering their condition. Their lives mostly revolved around the laundry list of ailments and their endless quest for liquor. But Barry Wheeler managed them now. And whatever else they might say about Barry, he knew how to make things happen. And honestly, it wasn't like the Andersons were the most difficult clients he ever had.
I'm sorry. Okay, so, you know I prefer to keep these streams PG, but I just have to make a comment real quick, because I started laughing to myself. If we're going to go off on the hypothesis that Emma's suppositories give her superpowers, she's going to be like Chopper and call them her rumble balls. Rumble balls. Sorry. Sorry. I just had to. I'm sorry, people. Okay, I gotta find out where this is. Post for the motel sign. Where is the motel sign? Oh no, motel. Over here. Okay, we're going back to being PG now. Moving on. Oh shit. Hold on. You know, put a pin in that growling right there, hillbilly man. We're gonna read a page. I'll be right back to you though.
Getting the Andersons into the recording studio was a struggle and a half. But once they actually picked up the instruments, something happened. They were two old men, and they weren't. They were doddering bags of bone, and they were barely contained power. And there was music. Barry rubbed his hands together. He knew how to pick a winner. Now all they needed was some direction on how to make things a little more modern. Barry had never produced a thing in his life, but he knew what he liked. He knew Balance Slays the Demon was going to be a hit.
Alright, so here is a hypothesis I wanted to run past you guys real quick. If we're going off on the hypothesis that after the Andersons entered the Dark Place at the end of 2, they literally became the gods, the stories they told about themselves. And it helps because the fan base thinks of them in that light, therefore they can become something similar to Scratch in the sense that public perception turns them into what they are. But here's the big thing. This page implies that when they get on stage, they get possessed by the gods of their namesake. Do you think they're pulling a thing where, because they now exist in the Dark Place as the gods they fashioned, they can now possess their younger selves? Because again, timey-wimey doesn't really matter. It'd be the equivalent of, like, the lightning strike that gave the Flash's powers is the Flash himself further down in time. Where it's just another closed loop. There's no evidence they're shifters, Marama. Like, the only characters we have evidence that they could be shifters are the ones that exist in Quantum Break. Because again, you need to be, like, be dysregulated in reality due to chronon radiation exposure. And there's zero evidence for that. There's no evidence of them even existing in the, well, I take that back. There is evidence they exist in the Quantum Break universe, however, we only see it through the lens of, what's the name of the band? There's a cover band for the Old Gods. I forgot the name. It's on the tip of my tongue, I forgot. Yeah, I know the radio, the telephone. Don't worry, guys. I'm not gonna miss it.
So, one morning I was running. It was in the fall. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. It was the sun was just coming up, and there's this huge estate right on the Long Island Sound called the Ziegler Estate, and it's monstrous, and it has these old iron gates that have these. They're spiked, very very sharp, but it's I mean acres and acres of land, and so I'm running and I'm listening to Tosca, listening to opera. And there's a moment in Tosca where Tosca's about to stab Scarpia, okay? And it's very, very dramatic. And it's like, there's this huge duet. And so I'm running, and you can see the breath coming, you can see my breath coming. The sun is coming up, and there's this incredible scene happening. And all of a sudden, I in the distance, I look, I see something that's on the fence. And as I'm running up, I realize it's a deer. The deer has tried to jump over this fence, like 8 feet high. Tried to jump over the fence. It landed on top of the fence. It caught it in its chest, and it slid all the way down. So it had opened the deer from the chest to all the way down its stomach, and it was still alive. It was flailing, absolutely flailing. I remember just this music, and the thing was running, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Absolutely couldn't believe what I was seeing. And I couldn't get at the deer. It was on the other side. So it's like the idea of like, okay, well, you should help the deer, try to put out his mirror. I couldn't get near it. And it was huge. It was gigantic. And so
Yeah, and there was like gigantic horns. I mean, it was a visual I will never, ever forget. And I just remember as I was running and just these flock of crows that were like in the trees just flying. It was the most cinematic, frightening thing I've ever seen. I just stood there. I stood there until it died. You know, and then just started running home.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, this is the real-life Matthew Peretta telling the story that he personally experienced. Now, I know the location of the Ziegler estate, and I've actually considered making a pilgrimage out there just to look at it on the ground because of this phone call right here. I've considered doing that. And this is just an example of, remember, telephone and radio broadcast can pierce the dark place, so literally he's piercing out into our reality and picking up the signal of Matthew discussing this.
Is it bad that this time I just went, oh, he's gonna be right along to save my ass?
Yep, nope, I got you, lady. You're good.
I show up, I guess.
Yeah, Stone Crow is the tribute band. So if there's a tribute band, that must imply the actual band is also there. You dildo. Oh, jeez, you just did a double take? Fuck you, get away from me. Shit. Oh, crap, I got distracted.
Is it bad that this time I just went, oh, he's gonna be right along to save my ass?
That's my bad for being a complete idiot. I mean, we're playing on Nightmare difficulty, so all things considered, it's been a pretty breezy run.
It's clear now.
You good?
Yeah, thanks for saving me again. I'd hate to die before I'm scheduled to be murdered.
I guess I have you to thank for setting everything up at the oil derrick.
Yeah, well, I figured that if we were going to go over this again, we might as well try to be smart about it, huh?
I appreciate it. You took a big chance doing that. You okay?
What do you think? I've died twice. I remember everything pretty clearly now. You said I was gonna be okay.
I don't know what happened.
Oh, it's not your fault. I think one of those, what did you call them? The takers? I think they did something to the power and they got me that way.
I'm sorry.
But I got the keys from the dead guy in that room. And I'm not handing them over until you do something about this. I'm sick of getting killed.
Fair enough.
All right, let's take an alternate take on this, because let's go back to Clay Stewart remembering the Night Springs episode he was trapped in, because the whole deal with the shared dream state that Alan and Clay had together back before 2010 was an episode of Night Springs, essentially, that they were reliving over and over and over again. And he remembered each time. Sometimes Alan died in it, sometimes he died in it. I'm honestly curious if the real life people that, like Emma here, Dr. Meadows, and Serena are having reoccurring nightmares where they're experiencing this within their nightmares, the shared dream state with Alan, and that's the actual Night Springs episodes being played out. And then they awaken, but what happens in there is still affecting other things. I'm curious, because that's also a potentiality. And I don't think I've ever really thought of this game through that lens yet, so I'm curious what you guys think.
You seem calmer now.
I tried freaking out. It didn't do much good for me. I guess you get used to the craziest stuff.
Good for you.
Plus, I figured I'd take the edge off, you know?
Mm-hmm. Those herbal supplements are pretty good, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Rumble balls. Sorry, what?
I wanted to try to explain things to you now since you're calmer, but maybe this isn't the best time after all.
Oh, shit, yeah. Better not get all metaphysical on me now. Seriously, I'm like 2 sentences away from thinking how we could all be like atoms on God's skin or something.
Or figments of somebody's imagination?
Wow. I'm just gonna try to chill out and not think about that or getting murdered or anything, if you're cool with that.
Gotcha.
Break, did you just try to call the moderators to put me on a timeout in my own stream? Alright, we're switching back to the nail gun for this final time around. Draco, you better not ban me from my own chat. No, I know, she was taking other supplements, wink wink. Alright guys, sorry, I gotta be in timeout for 5 minutes. Alright. I abide by my own rules. The timeout is over. See, I'm fair. Even I get muted if I break the rules. How was the timeout? It was fine. I got groomed by the cat for a little bit. I was doing some burpees with some weights just to get a little bit of PT going during the break. And we're back from looking into the corner.
Well, art lovers, are you feeling neglected? You shouldn't. You know Eddie Rodman's got love for you, which is why I actually hauled myself out of bed before noon, just so I could record an interview for your pleasure. Enjoy. Now, as I'm sure you all know, the annual Night Springs Visual Art Show is coming around again, and that's a big deal for all of us that are in the culture business. If you can call it a business. That's a little controversial, I know.
Oh, that's okay. Money makes the world go around, no doubt about it.
And that's one of my guests here at the studio, Serena Valdivia. She's a curator at the Night Springs Gallery of Visual Arts, and she's in charge of the NSVA Film Festival, held this year at the old Night Springs Drive-In Theater.
Hello, Eddie. It's great to be here. And let me just say that it's a wonderful venue.
Absolutely. And with her is one of the filmmakers, somebody who's actually primarily known as a renowned photographer, Alice Wake.
Hello.
Alice, I've seen a lot of your work over the years. It's very impressive. My wife's a big fan, actually.
Oh, thank you.
You've gained quite a bit of fame as a photographer, but that's not why you're here, right? You actually have a film. That's a little surprising.
For me, too. I really wouldn't be here at all if it weren't for Serena.
You two are friends, I take it?
Yeah, we move in the same circles. So, about a year ago, I heard about all this footage she'd shot, and I got to see some of it, and then I started pestering her about actually putting it out there, because it was really good. I didn't really want to show it. It felt too personal.
Well, yes, I can understand that. It features your husband, and he's, well...
He's dead.
I thought he was missing.
It's been 2 years. This sounds awful, but yes, I believe he's dead. Otherwise he would have, well, you know.
Yeah, I understand. Well, hold that thought, and we'll be right back.
Okay, confirmed 2012. 2 years later. So yeah, the 2011 mention is either an error, or that's when she started working here, or there's some other kind of contextual reason why Emma mentioned in relation to 2011. Anyways.
I have seen the darkness twist flesh into new shapes before, but encountering these giants is an extremely disturbing experience. It's as if the genre has been switched on me. There's something out of Pulp Fiction. Twice as tall as normal men and stronger than forklifts, their lumbering gait and slow-witted demeanor brings to mind some kind of mean-spirited caricature of a feeble-minded hillbilly.
So the FBC invited Alice to the oldest house back in 2017, if I remember correctly, so it would be 5 years after this, and that's after she kept receiving those repeat hauntings from who we presumed at the time was Scratch, but may have been sometimes Alan haunting her. We really don't know. But yeah, that interview I can almost guarantee did happen, except for the whole this is a Night Springs type of situation. I would argue probably word for word, but that's the only variation there. And yes, she does remember the Dark Presence. Her memory was not just wiped out.
Emma wasn't sure exactly when the man arrived at the motel, but from what she could tell, the party started almost immediately. It was infectious, spreading from one room to another. He was mercurial, almost as if he was flickering through the scene, telling a joke here, throwing an insult there, oozing sex and violence and excitement. She had never seen someone like this before. He looked at her and smiled, and she felt her heart flutter a little. She knew he was the kind of man mothers warn their daughters about, but she told herself it didn't matter.
Well, it's not that. Like, I'll have to revisit it, Marama, when we get to Control. But no, like, from my understanding, she had full memories of everything that happened in the Dark Place. It's not like she forgot anything and then it came back to her after she went to the oldest house. It's Alice being there triggered the third thing, aka Hartman, and then she left, and then he allowed that thing in the investigation sector to happen once she was scot-free. But no, like, it's, at least I don't recall there being a detail where she remembered new things, but I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I played it.
So I've been thinking about Barry. I don't know what to do about him yet. I mean, I'm not gonna keep him around, that's for sure. Al? Ugh, little parasite. Your best friend. Really? That's the best you can do. I actually kinda like the guy. He's a plucky little butterball. He plays the clown, that's a hard road to take. But I don't need him sticking his fat face in my business. Did you know he's been hanging out with the sheriff from that shitty little town? They keep in touch. Barry's about the only guy who insists that you're not dead. How about that? I might keep him alive for a while. Just to see him go to pieces when I fire his ass. Yeah.
That's just petty, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. This is 100% lore accurate canon here. If Scratch ever showed up to try to take on Barry, Scratch would just pause and hear boss music start playing and run away in fear. Let's be 100% honest. That is lore accurate. And you want to know the funniest thing about us making those jokes and memeing about it is that in the Remedy-verse, if we meme enough about it, it can become real. So don't stop memeing, fellas. We will make Barry the final boss of the whole series. Every time we joke about it and meme about it, we make him that much stronger. All right, you're good, Emma.
Okay. I really don't think they can get to the power now.
Thank you. That's a relief. Here's the keys that you needed.
Thank you.
Hey, I have to tell you, at the diner, I went there with him. The guy who looks like you, okay? I know I said that I didn't.
Yeah, I figured. Want to talk about what happened at the diner?
There was this guy from the observatory, and he just attacked the poor dude, smashed his face into the tabletop a bunch of times. It was horrible. I didn't know that he was gonna do that. I swear. And I just ran. I just left him there. I didn't even try to help.
There was nothing you could have done. It's not your fault.
Well, he's dead in that motel room now, so excuse me if I feel pretty shitty about it anyway.
You shouldn't blame yourself.
I just didn't want to get involved. I have this tendency to just drop everything and run. I don't think I'm a bad person, but I didn't even call the cops. I'm such a coward.
If you'd called the cops, we'd have dead cops. He's not human. Do you understand? It's not your fault.
But I could have tried to stop him.
Believe me, if you had, you'd be dead. You seem to be doing a little better now.
Yeah, I guess it just got easier once I got this thing off my chest. I just feel so guilty about it, especially because I didn't pick up on any of the warning signs. I just really liked hanging out with him, you know? He was smart and charming and funny and hot. The way you could be, I guess.
Yes.
What's the deal with this guy anyway? He looks like you, he uses your name. Why does he do this stuff?
I'm not sure myself. Maybe he's just evil or my dark half. He does a lot of the stuff I'm trying really hard to get away from. Things that just messed up my life.
I guess all those murders don't help either.
Yeah, I could do without the murders and the end of the world.
Yeah, that is a wild comment there, Emma.
Listen, I need to get going.
Yeah, go. I think I'm good now. I hope.
Good luck. If it all goes well, maybe this is the last time we meet like this.
God, wouldn't that be great?
Just keep those lights on, okay?
Okay, let's go ahead and grab this. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Let's go ahead and head into the next section. Kaboom.
The fate of countless individuals hangs in the balance, threatened by the machinations of the Herald of Darkness. And yet, for a moment, the Champion of Light breathes a little easier. He has saved one life. For this moment, it is enough. And soon, perhaps, he can put an end to this.
Your food's right there, sweetheart.
Returning to the observatory for what he hopes is the final time, the man feels anticipation and dread in equal measure. Soon, he knows, he will have what he needs.
All right, let's do this. Okay, Zoe, please don't step on the keyboard. If us talking about Barry can affect how he's portrayed in games, maybe you shouldn't record yourself calling him the final boss. Okay, fair. Let's take that out of there.
Hello, I was expecting you. I've already taken care of the imaging array, but you should still look into securing the primary coolant flow. With some luck, you may be able to light the area before these things even show up.
Let's just say last man standing. The final hope against the darkness. Let's take care of this first, and then we'll head into the security booth. There we go. That was just a bunch of crotch shots right there. Okay. We are good. Let's go ahead and do this, and we can head up and talk to Emma. Or not, sorry, not Emma. Dr. Meadows.
Very good. I believe we're ready to look into the sky.
Right there, Doctor.
Oh, shit. Why do I do this every single time? Now I have to go all the way back around to get to the security booth and listen to the Rodman radio broadcast. Shit. Alright, well... That's just gonna take us a little bit out of our way, but we'll get it all. We'll get there. And we're basically out of nail gun ammo, though. Okay, at least pops a shield out of here. Come on, right there in the shoulder, right there in the liver, I guess. That one's in the kidney. Lungs. And right in the dome. I think my anatomy's correct there.
This act of creation is exhilarating and frightening. Subtext and symbols loom eager to take effect. Causality and consequence become domino chains that stretch into infinity. The more fundamental the change, the more unpredictable the variables become. Reality is too complex to control completely. Ordinary questions become meaningless. Who created who? What is really real? Everything is as real as everything else. You learn to let go of the things you can't control and go with the flow, or go insane.
AKA, don't think too deeply about it, bro. No, but I agree with the sentiment that everything is as real as everything else, because when you're looking at reality on both sides of a reality shift, they are real, even though they contradict each other. Both versions are real, but real has been changed, therefore, Alright, let's get some ammunition real quick, and then head on over. What do we got? I got some more nail guns over here. I mean, if you really want to think about it a certain way, it makes a good deal of meta sense to handle it that way. Because let's be real, in a long-running series, there's always going to be semi-inconsistencies, and the fan base is always going to argue about which version is real. Oh, no, we don't accept the new story because it contradicts the first one. And the newer fans who didn't grow up on the original going, oh, no, the new one, that's the real one, that's the real one. The old ones, oh, it doesn't matter anymore. But by handling it in this way, you have to accept both as true. Even if things are slightly different, it's still accurate. I hear the footsteps. Yeah, and a real fan accepts it all, but with how they've structured it in the Remedy-verse it gives us an in-lore reason why we can accept it all, without the contradictions becoming issues.
Thanks for tuning in for the second part of our interview with Serena Valdivia and award-winning photographer Alice Wake. Now, Alice, we were talking about your husband, Alan Wake. Is that a sore subject for you?
Well, a little bit. Of course it is. The way I see it, we had our good times and our bad times, and on the whole, we had a lot of good times. He really made me happy. I don't mind being reminded of him.
So you're over him?
I don't know if I'll ever be that, entirely. I still think about him every day, literally. I still find myself hoping for... Well, sometimes I think I see him just standing somewhere, watching me. I think most people who lose someone they love experience things like that. But on the whole, I'm doing all right. 2 years is a long time to adjust.
Well, I know there are a lot of stories about it.
That's not really what our show is about, though. Look, all that stuff really gets blown out of proportion. He had his problems, but it's really frustrating for me because people like to talk. They love to tell these crazy stories, and they never really knew him at all.
Well, the character he created, Alex Casey.
And that comment right now, they like to tell stories and they never really knew him. That is what made Scratch possible. That's what birthed him.
Household name. The books still continue to sell. There's been talk of a TV series, a movie, a video game. Must be nice to know that his work is still being appreciated by so many readers.
Yes, of course, but I don't really deal with the business side. I leave that to Alan's agent.
That would be Barry Wheeler. Actually, I just interviewed him. He's currently in the music business.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also Alan's best friend. Do you two keep in touch?
We talk regularly. Like I said, he handles the business side. I think we should talk about her film.
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Serena.
I'm Eddie Rodman, talking to Alice Wake and Serena Valdivia, and we'll be right back.
And funnily enough, they did end up turning Alan Wake into a video game in the Quantum Break universe. You can find people playing it all the time. I think there's like 2 or 3 locations in the game. Dude, this is a... Stop it! Boys! I'm listening to my wife doing an interview and you just have to interrupt me. Bro. Yeah, I'll be doing Quantum Break. I mean, like, I have never been one to think Quantum Break doesn't belong with the rest of the franchise. It is part of the play order. You better play it. Like, okay. Whoa. Oh my god, we just crashed. Holy crap, the game just crashed. Okay, give me a second. We get back to it. Alright, we are back. I had to do a quick little speed run The save state, the autosave happened when the car fell down from the cliff, so I just had to do a quick loop-de-loop. And now we are good. But yeah, what I was saying is that it's a little unfortunate that for those who are looking to get into the Remedyverse right now, specifically because of Control Resonant, their play order is Alan Wake, Control, Alan Wake 2, Control Resonant. I'm like, no, guys, you gotta play Max Payne 1, Max Payne 2, you gotta at least understand Death Rally, you gotta play American Nightmare, you gotta go through Quantum Break. Like, there's so many games in the franchise, and if you cut yourself just to Alan Wake and Control, you're missing so much. Because, like, yes, every developer, like, Remedy has made the statement, like, yes, you can play these games without knowing the prior games in the franchise. But let's be perfectly honest, you will not get anywhere near the same level of enjoyment or understanding if you don't play every game. Let's be 100% frank. Okay.
The man before Dr. Meadows was handsome and slick. He moved with lazy confidence and didn't bother to pretend that he wasn't staring at her. She didn't mind, at first. Then the man flicked open the knife and shoved her out of the control room so she wouldn't hear the signal, whatever it was. Outside, she pulled her lab coat closed and thought about running. She didn't. She didn't think she'd get very far. Not from him. She never was entirely sure why he spared her.
Okay, this is just more narrative backstory. And yeah, we're also, Four Sleeps, you're also missing Crossfire X, the Death Rally remake, and the Agents of Storm, which we don't really know much about that game because it's no longer available. And it came out at a time when people didn't really record things on the internet. So unfortunately, we don't have full story gameplay of that game. But Sam Lake does appear in it. Oh yeah, and Firebreak. Sorry, FPC Firebreak. Thank you.
This is what you look like. Does that bother you? I bet it does. I'm not just wearing your face, you know. It goes a lot deeper than that. There's a lot of you and me. All the best parts. At first, I was just an idea. But they kept telling all those stories about you. You already had that rep. And then you disappeared mysteriously. And then, the stories about bad, crazy Alan Wake came true. And here I am. That's the best part, isn't it? When that happens, you can always count on Cauldron Lake. I'm just as real as you are. And I'm the improved version. No fears, no doubt, no weaknesses, no self-deception here. I don't let anything drag me down. I know you like I know myself. I know it bothers you that I'm like this, that I use your name, crawl my way into your life. But I only do it because I'm better at being you than you ever were.
Dick! Alright. Let's move on. Yeah, I think as far as I recall, the only RC references in Crossfire X was Max Payne, where they directly reference Max Payne returning. And they had an office where a Remedy developer was working on the level design. Alright, you guys ready?
Guys, we need to protect the telescope or we can't complete the signal.
Here we go. I don't know what I did just to knock those guys all out, but it happened. Dude, that was smooth. That whole encounter was smooth as fuck. Hell yeah.
There, I have it. But I wish these things would stop blatantly violating the laws of physics in my observatory. That's just rude. Are you alright?
I'll live.
I'm glad. I'll send the lift down to you.
Oh my gosh.
I remember our previous encounters very clearly now. But technically, if this really is a loop in time, we've never met before. I don't know why our awareness persists, but it's bloody fascinating.
I love... That's just the corniest line in the whole game. I wish they would stop blatantly violating the laws of physics here. I'm like, oh my god, lady, stop.
Doctor?
You know, I know physicists who would give 15 years of their lives for a chance to experience something like this.
I'd imagine that being stalked by horrible axe murderers would curb their enthusiasm a little.
Clearly you've never met hardcore physicists.
I'm glad you're in such good spirits, but...
The signal! Yes, it's completed.
Finally. If all goes well, this should be the last time we go through the loop.
You know, I just realized that I don't have any memory of what happens after you leave. What does that mean?
I don't think it means anything. If everything goes well, you just keep going. I don't show up here like this again, no more bad guys. Things go back to normal.
Let's hope you're right. I'd love the opportunity to look into this in more detail.
Looks like you've accepted the situation.
I'm a pragmatist. If this is a delusion, at least my first psychotic episode is anything but boring. Really, Mr. Wake, at the end of the day, I'm a scientist. I love mysteries. I love not knowing. Whatever else this might be, it's absolutely fascinating. I wonder how far this reaches. Is everybody in the world experiencing this?
Who knows? I think reality's probably pretty fragile right now.
Does anyone else get the personality similarities between her and Emily when it comes to this? I just want to know everything. This is just amazing. This is amazing. I want to learn. She just reminds me of Emily there for a second.
Doctor, I can see you're very enthusiastic about this. I'd appreciate a bit of discretion.
Are you suggesting that we should suppress this?
No. You can do what you like, but I want you to leave me out of it.
But surely, with the things you know, the things you've experienced, you can replicate any of these results. We could...
Let me be blunt. If you drag me into this, I'll deny everything. I'll lie like my life depended on it. And writers are damn good liars. Word of advice. This is things man was not meant to know territory. You get into this, chances are you'll open up a door into a world of hurt. Believe me, I know.
I see.
That actually is an interesting point, Ethan and James, is that, yeah, if at least a somewhat awareness of this persists after the Night Springs event occurs, she would be a prime candidate. Not in the literal sense, but she would be a candidate to be recruited by the Bureau. I think that'd work perfectly, personally.
In a strange way, he feels at ease. He is armed with his own words, and when the time comes, they will be enough or they will not. For now, he's content to let the currents take him toward the final confrontation.
Okay. So I'm going to need to do a quick BRB to pull up some stuff real fast. And I'll explain something. I'll explain why in a second. Yeah, I think it'd be cool if she showed up in Resonant. Or at least the real-life version of her.
Return to the drive-in. If he's aware of the absurdity of arming oneself with a few sentences and standing against a power that can pierce time itself, he doesn't show it. The man has his share of weaknesses, perhaps more, but cowardice is not among them.
Okay. So let's pause here real quick because I'll explain in a second. One moment, I'll be right back. All right, guys. So essentially, because Alan starts off down at the power yard, there's an entire cut piece of content of the initial Serena Valdivia conversation while she's still possessed. And we never get a chance to listen to it because, again, that conversation happens essentially while Alan's on the opposite side of the thing, and it was cut from the game entirely. So let's go ahead and just make things a little uncomfy for the last time and listen through it just to see if there's anything here worth mentioning.
I feel all yummy. I'm here all helpless. Anybody could walk in and do something. Oh, look at this. I'm still sweaty. Hey.
I'm just gonna go deal with the power.
Please don't go. Please. Please. I need to talk to you.
What is it?
I don't want you to go. Nobody needs to know. You can do anything you like. You can be as rough as you want.
You are persistent, I'll give you that. But I'm not interested. For what it's worth, this should be the last time you end up like this.
You could put me in my place, huh? I deserve it. You know it's worth it, baby. You know you want it.
I don't think so.
What's the matter? Too much woman for you to handle, huh? A little too hot for you? Come on. Don't you want to break off a piece? Show me who's the man. Come on. Show me.
And yeah, so that was all cut from the game, and thankfully so, because we don't need to be uncomfy more than we need to. Let's just pretend we never saw that and move on with life. And demonetized. Dude, every single one of these videos has been demonetized anyways for music reasons.
You got yourself a little plan, do you?
The Kasabian CDs demonetize it each time. Okay. Alright, we good? We good. Let's go ahead and flip the power on and get the ball rolling. Oh yeah, Forrest, leave it. If you want, just go check out the website, the Cutting Room Floor, TKRF. Search it up and you'll see a crap ton of stuff that was cut from the game. Like, there's a lot of just, like, assets and minor things, but there's a lot of dialogue as well. You thought you were about to get lucky. Did I say K for cutting? Yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, just create an acronym for Cutting Room Floor and you'll find it. Okay, boom. Now let's go find ourselves some ammunition for our nail gun because we are legit just completely out. There we go. See, I still can't figure out why... Oh, never mind. I take it back. I answered my own question. It's okay. We have max ammunition now anyways. And let's be honest, it's more exciting to see me kill everything rather than just shoot a random explosive barrel. You dick! Whoa. Did everyone just see that figure, like an outline of a figure, cel-shaded, just pop up in the air right there? Because I could have sworn I just saw that. Alright. Run! Don't get zapped! Please don't get zapped. And of course, this is going to be an echo of Night Springs Light and Power Company is the Bright Falls Power Company where Cynthia resides. Why are you doing this? Why are you making little ghosty effects?
You're never getting out of this, Wake. Never! Don't worry. I'll take care of your wife and your life.
The happy song. Keep in mind, we hear the song one other time in the franchise after this. This song is very unique and specific to Scratch, and yet it shows up with Tom the filmmaker when he is witnessing Alan Wright return. Odd, wouldn't you say? And he does the same dance moves too, yep.
I don't know what you think you're doing, but I'll send you right back to the beginning.
If you say so. And he talks to you through film, that too, yeah. We'll talk a lot more about that when we get to the replay of Alan Wake 2, but there's way too many similarities between American Nightmare, Scratch, and Tom the Filmmaker.
When the dark man's eyes suddenly locked into Serena's, she flushed hot. They ignited a black fire in her. He was talking. He wanted the power turned off. He said something about the projector booth. She hooked a finger under his belt buckle. He grabbed a hold of her throat and twisted until it hurt. Somewhere deep inside, a part of her screamed in paralyzed horror, but the moan that escaped from her throat had no panic in it. "Pay attention," he said. "Business first." His eyes glittered shamelessly. Hers did too.
What happened to Zane? Well, we'll talk about what happened to Zane on Wednesday when we read the This House of Dreams blog. But essentially, the essence of who he was doesn't exist in this reality anymore. He created a pocket universe and traveled into it, and his body was later... No, don't... I was going to say, don't you crash on me again. And his empty shell of a body was taken over by the bright presence.
What? You think whatever it is you're gonna do is gonna make a difference? This'll end up just like before!
Okay, we need to get some ammo real quick. There's a couple things we need to do before we finish that up. First things first, taking out some of these guys. And there's a manuscript right around here somewhere that's actually really important. It is one of the coolest pieces of lore building, not just for this game, but for Alan Wake 1 and 2 as well. So yeah, the quote-unquote Zane / the diver we see all throughout the first game is not really him. He's essentially a nobody that got Norted, if Nort was the bright presence. Oh, no, I'll be playing it on release day, Wolf. I will be playing Control Resonant on release. Okay, give me a second. For some... The page is in front of the TV. Okay, thank you. There it is. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't see it, but this is a really important page.
There's more to fighting the Taken than just burning away the darkness that protects them. When I'm fighting for my life, I find myself slipping into a state of intense concentration that makes the beam of my flashlight seem more powerful and focused. I used to think it was just my imagination, something brought on by the adrenaline and fear of death. But now I'm not so sure. I've been touched by powers that I can't begin to truly comprehend. And they've left a mark. I'm starting to think this might be a part of it.
So essentially what this page says is that the reason why the high beam in the gameplay mechanic of the flashlight glowing brighter is because the bright presence is acting through his flashlight. He's literally been given extra supernatural aid by the bright presence, which causes the flashlight to act in the ways it does, even though it doesn't make logical sense within the universe. Photokinesis? I mean, in essence. And it's not just him. I mean, Saga gets the same ability. Well, I wouldn't say she gets the ability, but she's able to use the same technique that Alan uses by allowing the bright presence to work through the flashlight. I mean, Darkanoid, we can't really say 100% for certain whether it's a para-utilitarian power that's causing them to allow the light to enhance, or the bright presence just happens to choose to show itself in those moments to assist. So if it originates from them, it'd be a para-utilitarian thing. If it originates from the bright presence, it's more of a supernatural aid situation. But that's been going on since the very beginning. Because let's be honest, the bright presence gave Alan the flashlight every single step of the way. In the initial dream sequence, at the nightmare at the beginning, even in the DLCs, he through the bathroom mirror gives him the light. So it's just a really cool bit of lore building about why that happens. Even though from a average viewer, it just seems like a ridiculous thing, but no, it's legit. Okay, we are gonna watch this, but we're gonna watch it after we clear out the dark fountains because I don't want the music to interrupt the audio. So we will come back to this. There's cut lines of audio about Alan reacting to the boosted beams. Oh, I'll have to check that out. Well, it's not just plot armor for the sake of plot armor. We gotta remember that this is the hero's journey that Alan's writing. Remember, departure, initiation, return. Ooh, sawed-off shotgun. And part of the hero's journey is the supernatural aid. That you find the wise old man figure that gives you tools and talismans for the journey. Well, that's exactly what Bright Presence, aka the Diver, did. Provided him with the tools, which is the magical flashlight as well as the revolver. So it fits perfectly within the hero's journey. And so all the dialogue we just listened to on the cutting room floor is what she should have been saying right now, but didn't. So let's go ahead and wake her up.
Oh, hey.
I'm hoping I can put an end to this now.
You'd better. I really don't want that to happen to me again. It's like somebody vomited in my brain, like a sleazy movie that keeps looping in my head.
I'll stop this, I swear.
You know the part that's really screwed up? If you mess it up, it'll just keep happening forever, right? I don't think I can deal with that.
Don't think about that.
I don't think of anything but.
Honestly, Woombi, if I had to say we had one quote-unquote wise old man figure that gave supernatural aid in Alan Wake 2, it'd probably be Alice. She acts more in that role than Alan does to Saga. She kind of overlooks both of their journeys. So if we were going to have that archetype, I'd argue it'd be her. She's also the one that I think helps provide the clicker. She provides the clicker to Alan as well. So yeah, the tools and talismans.
Hey, afterwards, when all this is done, look me up. This thing, I can probably help you deal with it.
I don't know. It's almost like I'm not even in the same world anymore. Everything's just weird now.
Yeah, I know. A lot of that'll pass with time. But being touched by the darkness, it's rough on you. It's a lot to process. And I just don't want you to get completely screwed up by this.
Might be a little late for that, to be honest.
Yeah, well, there's degrees. At least you're not at a point where you go around picking fights with people over not changing their light bulbs often enough.
What?
Never mind. All I'm saying is, you're not alone with this. And anyway, you're friends with Alice, so, you know, any friend of hers.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really curious if... like, Serena's character, because she's so close to Alice, I've always been curious if we're going to, at the very least, pop into her, but I agree that's a possibility, but I think Dr. Meadows would be a candidate to possibly be hired by the FBC. The only one that we probably won't see again is Emma, but at least there's a possibility for these two, albeit I seriously doubt it's going to happen. I seriously doubt it's going to happen.
Hello, folks, and welcome to the third part of our pre-recorded interview with Serena Valdivia and renowned photographer Alice Wake. So, tell me about the film.
It's called Sunrise, and it really wasn't something I ever thought of as an actual film. It was just footage, things I saw and happened to shoot. It's not a medium I'm very much at home with. You shouldn't put yourself down. You've got a great eye. Maybe. but experience is another thing.
Because you're primarily a still photographer.
Yes, exactly. So I'm really used to thinking of the world in terms of snapshots. I frame something and try to pick the right moment, and then reveal that moment to people. Moving images are a different story. I'm still learning a lot about it, to be honest.
So this is a new thing for you?
Or maybe I'm just a slow learner. But showing it like this is definitely a new step for me. It's a little weird taking something this intimate and showing it to everybody. Not that the material itself is somehow shocking, it's just that those were private moments.
But that's why it works, because it feels genuine. It's not so much a story as it is a sort of an echo, showing us how you saw your husband at the time. It's not really about the sunrise itself or Alan watching it. It's about you two together.
I suppose. It's funny, looking at it now, especially now that it's been edited like that. It takes on a life of its own, almost. It's a kind of a fantasy.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, you're right. I'm glad you talked me into it.
And this right here is the reason why her film destroys Scratch ultimately. If his existence is solely predicated on false beliefs about who Alan was as a human being, then Alice showing the truth about who he was as a human being will destroy those urban legends. Because they can't exist in light of the truth here. Dean, please get hired by Remedy to be their lore guy. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine? That would be so much fun. Honestly, I think every, not just a video game development company, but any kind of like book, like a book author or film writer should always have one diehard fan on staff just to keep them honest. I seriously think that should just be a default thing for any writing crew. Especially with long-running franchises.
I held the film canister in my hands. I saw her name written across it in big letters, followed by the title. It was a time capsule. Moments snatched from times gone by. From a past that I hoped could also be our future. It was my salvation, our chance to be together. A tin can with a bit of magic in it that she didn't even know about. Something I could put to good use. There were only moments left before I had to face him.
And here we go. We got one more. Oh, thank you, Jay Lang. I do appreciate it. Okay, we have absolutely one more manuscript here. Wait. She's actually... Wait, what? Why? Okay, hold on. She should not be speaking like she's possessed right now. Huh. I'm curious. Okay, so what may have just happened is because the trigger for those cut lines of audio, which obviously is still in the game, are supposed to trigger because we're coming from this entrance walking into the theater. And because of that, it triggered that audio, but because no one really does that, they miss out on this. The trigger point might be the front area, and then it starts that sequence even though we've already woken her up. Yeah, this is probably just a, I wouldn't say glitch, but an error in the game code right here. Interesting. Yeah, they left it in. It was definitely an oversight.
The clothes I wear now I shaped from dreams and memories. It's an old outfit, originally from the 90s. The last time I wore it was when I was still writing and Alice and I took a vacation in the desert before our troubles began. The night before, we'd been at a party, and I had dressed to the nines. On that lazy day, I put on these old clothes, worn and comfortable. Alice made a joke about grunge. I felt a little embarrassed, but I stuck with them. We were very happy. I'm sheathed in good memories to remind myself of what is at stake.
Okay, remember back in the first game, when we were looking through some of the survival guide details, there was a mention where Alan is praising Alice's fearlessness, and they mentioned a time where they were out in visiting, I think, Phoenix? They were definitely in Arizona, but I forgot where. This might be the event he's referring to here, where they were both out in this general region. So, yeah, that's why he's wearing plaid. He's wrapped himself in positive memories of the last time he felt happy with her, or happy in his life, but it was associated with being with her. But yeah, it definitely gives us confirmation that that random throwaway line in the survival guide was accurate, because, hey, it kind of reinforces the same information here. Alrighties, now it's just time to finish up the Dark Fountains, finish up the loop, take care of Scratch, and we are done. We have 6 rounds and 4 fountains. Let's do this. Oh, there's one down. Get out of here. There we go. 2 fountains down. You dildo. If that's the case with the clothes, what does it say about the suit he wears in Alan Wake 2? Absolutely no idea, because there's no reference to why he's wearing a suit in that game. And that's that. So the only thing wrong, actually, because we didn't actually read it, let's head over and read it real fast. New Reality Fragment 3.
I'd found her film from the pile of containers in the back. I'd threaded it into the projector. I swallowed hard, staring at the screen, hearing her voice. The sunrise I remembered so well, only moments away. And then Mr. was there, nailed by the projector's beam, caught in his own trap. He shouted at me, first in confusion, then rage. And then the sun came up and things started to burn.
I like the reference here that he was caught in his own trap, implying that the projector projecting the insanity of Scratch being a serial killer up on screen was his own trap. And now we're going to flip the script.
Again, the champion of light enters the final trap. The new reality.
Oh, the TV. Yeah, sorry, I forgot.
All he needs to do is change the details of the scene, push it past the breaking point, and the rest will...
Alright, we'll just destroy the fountains again. Sorry about that. We've already had the conversation with her, so let's just do that. Run over here. Do I have to pick up those manuscript pages again? Nope, we already got those, so let's just run and take care of it. Speed run! Sorry, I have really bad short-term memory issues, so forgive me. Luckily, he has the stamina of an actual normal person and not a artist who has never left his office. There we go. Now let's go do the TV set real fast, since the music will no longer interrupt the audio.
I've been around for a while now, you know? Well, you've been indisposed, stuck in the darkness. I've been busy. I operate in the shadows, not always literally, you understand? I'm a little more resilient than those I've taken, but I do my best work in the dark. And there's so much darkness out there. It goes deep. And the things that live in it are vast, big bastards. They don't mind getting a little bit of elbow room. All that chaos and madness, it doesn't really do that much down there. It's like pouring a glass of water into the ocean, right? But up here, yeah, you can really make an impact. All they need is someone to bring them all the way through. But first, I had to take care of you. You party pooper. You're stuck in an eternal cycle now. The sun's never coming up for you.
Yeah, 100% near off the top.
Everything else? Do my thing. Getting a bit of quality time with Alice. That's a little something for me. And I deserve it.
Why did he pull a Hannibal Lecter right there? No, from Lovecraft mythology, Forrest. I believe it's from the Cthulhu mythos. Did you watch the promo videos for the Alan Wake American Nightmare streams? Yeah, we did. We watched that right at the beginning of the first one. But yeah, and hence why we get the name Herald of Darkness from the song. Because he literally is the herald for other darknesses, other presences. So, like, I prefer to call the entity that is bound by Scratch as the herald for that reason. But it's... who knows? I'm trying to invent other entities down here.
The champion of light enters the final trap. The new reality is almost here. All he needs to do is change the details of the scene, push it past the breaking point, and the rest will snap into place.
Okay. First, we're going to play Death Rally so we can beat the adversary at his own race. Because remember, the whole point of Death Rally is we're in a death race against the adversary, with Thomas the Rhymer helping us on the radio, who is a former racer who lost against the adversary and was trapped inside. His spirit was severed and trapped inside the car. It's kind of like the poet was once went up against the adversary, aka the Dark Presence, failed, and then got trapped as the diver with the next character for the new driver to show up, which was Alan. It's kind of like the exact same story, right? Literally, almost word for word. And Thomas the Rhymer helping the driver as a supernatural aid, while the diver, aka Bright Presence, aka Tom the poet, helping Alan. And the only thing that stopped it from working last time is we never changed out the film reel. Because we continue to play the false film where Alan Wake is an evil, evil man. But instead, let's play a different film, one where the real Alan Wake exists. So the rest of the world can see it.
Oh, come on, buddy. Why don't you... What? What is this? No! No! You can't do this! All I did was take the things you always wanted and never had the balls to go for. It's my turn now. It's my life. It's my life.
Alan? Is it really you?
It's really me.
How? I love you.
I love you.
A woman, a man, two lovers, held apart for far too long, enveloped in the light of a glorious dawn. They both feel it. He's home at last. Are these actual events, or merely a dream? A memory, or a glimpse of what is to come? One thing is certain. This scene takes place in another time and another place, far, far away from Night Springs.
And then as soon as that scene is over, Alice goes, "Hey, so I saw an episode of Night Springs you wrote where you were making out with Rose. What the hell, bro?" Alright, so the song we have here is called Watching the Sun Come Up by Ed Harcourt. The title is self-explanatory.
You know it feels nice watching the sun come up, and I've realized I can never return. Oh, baby, it feels good.
And because I gotta not get copyrighted as much as more than I need to. So the point of the lyrics in this song, Watching the Sun Come Up, has to do with looking back on a prior relationship and seeing the sunrise while thinking that he can never return to what it was before then, and deciding that he is not beyond repair. And that's really about it, everybody. Alan decided he's not beyond repair. So you think Scratch wrote Night Springs? No. Scratch wrote Return. I'm fully on board that Alan and Mr. Dorr worked on the Night Springs episodes. I mean, Dorr flat out says he collaborated with him on it, so I presume he has a hand in it. Anyways, guys, that is going to be it for this one. Moving up on Wednesday, it's going to be a much shorter stream because we're not playing a game. We're just going to be reading through a blog spot. But let's take everything we discussed in this one about how we perceive Night Spring AWE events, put a pin in it, and we'll come back to it when we look at Samantha Wells' adventure in House of Dreams. But outside of all that, I will leave you all be. Thank you all for joining me on this crazy adventure, and I will see you shortly. You'll have a good night, okay?